I was not a stupid kid. What's the stupidest thing you thought as a kid? Yeah, I'm sorry. No, you thought some dumb crap. Maybe some stuff that was so next level you're just afraid that people are gonna find out that, oh no, when you were a kid, you were stupid. Dude, you know how dumb I was as a kid? I could go on for days. I'm not going to, because I see the timer's popped up, but come on. I'm a Virgo, but I just want to know why I'm always right. Is it a gift? A curse? Still haven't met a woman that can outsmart me. Dude, come on. You can't post things like this and then not show some of the comments. I gotta see what they said. After catching myself explaining neutron degeneracy pressure to a 7-year-old, I have officially realized that elementary school students are too young for me. I'm a middle school teacher. Oh, thank God. Oh, jeez. I don't know why. Something about that was making me a little uncomfortable there. Neutron degeneracy. Oh, sorry, pressure. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye then. I dumbed down my vocabulary because I'm used to being the smartest person in the room. I read a lot of books, most of them older, written by philosophically minded individuals, and not exactly light reads. It causes me to have a drastically expanded lexicon, and the number of times I've had to define a word to somebody has caused me to instinctively use simpler vocabulary when I'm in a crowd just to avoid that issue. Yeah, because most of us aren't jackasses, okay? Also, just because you can use more complex words doesn't make you smarter. It means you understand the language you were raised using, or raised to use. I mean, come on. Look, there's only so much of a thesaurus you can really throw into your average everyday speak, my friend. Feel free to share this with the female who just commented and blocked me, like the quintessential Democrat coward. My intellect more than likely is superior to hers, yours, and most of you who believe you have a monopoly on cognitive prowess. Your hubris is repulsive. Bro, it's not that deep. Just eat a cheeseburger and calm the hell down, dude. Allegory of the cave. The more you know, the dumber you sound to stupid people. I mean, I guess, but don't think you're one of those super mega smart people. Did you watch that movie? Did you watch Good Will Hunting? Because I guarantee you, however smart you think you are, Will Hunting was about 1 billion times smarter than you or 95% of the populace could ever hope to be. That was kind of the whole part of the story. He wasn't a normal genius. Dude was next level, so chill the hell out. I can't be the only one who thinks quantum mechanics, with regards to pure math, is much easier than classical mechanics. Sir, this is a Reddit channel. I don't know what you're expecting to get out of it, but I can't help you here, okay? I make my money reading memes and other words. There is objectively good and bad music, and not everyone can hear it. Okay, let's see this. In all genres of music, it is possible to differentiate between good music and bad music. People who can hear this difference will be able to point this out across genres. People who listen to music in any genre that is objectively bad have a lower music IQ. You don't have to make up terminology if you want to call people stupid, you know? If you think someone listening to underground rap or something like that is dumber than you, you can go ahead and say it. You'll be wrong, but you can go ahead and say something like that. Okay? Look, I don't think that it's possible for any art form to be objectively bad. And I'm counting stadium country in that. You know, the songs that come from rich dudes that never worked a hardcore day in their lives who sing about Bud Light, big trucks, and bouncy tits. Yeah, I am including that in there too. It can be good. Any of it can be good. Just like a lot of it can be bad too, okay? I really hate people that think that they're smart enough to say that something is objectively anything. You are not the king or queen of music, my good random internet person. Starlink is rebuilding the internet in space, so maybe I know slightly more than some guy who wrote code for a website. Elon, I don't think you've ever done anything. On Earth, a magician puts his hand in his hat. In the rabbit realm, the hand emerges. It is time. The rabbit council must choose a sacrifice. Actually, that's not what's happening. Magicians... What are you saying, that magicians aren't magicians? Use the techniques such as misdirection and prestidigitation to pull off these illusions. Yes, I know I'm nerdy. I'm sorry. See, let me go back to the thesaurus guy for a minute here. Prestidigitation certainly is a fancier way of saying magic tricks that are performed, or magical illusions that are performed, right? But most people are going to go, what the hell does that mean? Because it's unnecessary. And honestly, there's a little bit of arrogance and ego behind using a word like that in a regular conversation or in a response, getting mad at someone's joke on Twitter, you dork. In 6 words or fewer, write a story about this photo. 6 words or fewer is not a story. It is a sentence. It is a statement. It is a phrase, question, answer. It is everything but a story. You simply cannot construct a story with only 6 words or less. It's just grammatically incorrect and very nerve-wracking to call it that. Okay, well, I can't tell you a story in 6 words or fewer, but I can tell you a really short story. I'll tell you a story about Pete McGorry. Now my story's begun. I'll tell you another about his big brother. Now my story is done. Sure, there's a lot of detail missing, but that was a story, as unsatisfying as it may be. And probably is, let's be honest. You should leave a comment if you think you are a photon quanta to my valence electron, or if you're a believer in quantum entanglement. By the way, notifications are set to off. Thank goodness. Didn't actually want you to know that I sent you a message. That sure is one big-headed statement. People act like this is so hard. I'm 15, and yeah, I do have a really high IQ. 150s. And I can easily do integrated calculus in my head, and easily calculate the amount of valence electrons in a nucleus. Okay? And I'm also highly trained in quantum physics, by the way. I'm not totally self-educated. There are no electrons in any atomic nucleus. Oh, man. It's like it was a copy pasta. A lot of these genuinely feel like they are, and I think that's why they're so entertaining to read. What can high IQ people do that the average IQ person cannot? I'm glad you asked. As an extremely high IQ individual myself, I have an IQ of 161. I often catch myself being able to do things that the average person could never dream of. I need to see the rest of this. I want to read the rest of this. It's got 10 million views. Please. I doubt a Gen Zer or anyone younger knows what happened today, 81 years ago, on December 7th. Come on, man, chill. They still teach about Pearl Harbor in schools, okay? It's a very big, important part of American history, so just chill out, all right? And of course, someone may not remember the minute details of even the most important of events. When someone comes out of nowhere and goes, hey, 12 o'clock, 82.5.67 years ago. At this very moment, what happened? I don't know. But if you say, hey, how did the United States enter World War II? Oh, that was Pearl Harbor. It's just someone trying to make a specific, easily remembered factoid or historical event seem significantly more difficult to remember. No, we're still taught about it. It's fine. Now watch, everything I said will be incredibly wrong and I'll look like a moron, but still, come on. When someone says this right here, this exact comment, they're trying to trip you up. They're doing it on purpose. Watch your mouth. Please remember to censor the G word. Gamer. Video game. Properly.
You do realize that I'm trolling you. Besides, you are good at chess, which is a game. Like what I am doing with you.
Dude, he told you he was a bot. It's the auto moderator, dude. What do you... Stop. My IQ is 135 to 140, and I quit my PhD candidature for exactly this reason. I had lost all respect for people with letters behind their names and their gender sensitivity waffle. With letters, but... Oh, I see. You couldn't hack it, so now you pretend to dislike those who were able to successfully do what you couldn't. Everything everywhere is the woke culture that usually the right produces as parody. Not since Hamilton has worked so precious, plangent, morally superior and conceptually inferior debuted to such a claim. Conservatives say this is all pop art now. This film might prove them right. Some of y'all should not be allowed within 500 yards of a thesaurus. Exactly! Come on! What have we been talking about today? She's my biggest competition, and we're each other's cheerleaders. Edit. We are so mechanical in our compliments. We should probably be tested to accurately size us up, but I'm pretty sure I'm always the most intelligent person in the room. And that's not ego. 100% know that. You're brilliant. I think you and I are neck in neck, and I do not consider that a competition. I do not think so. I'm intelligent but not genius. You're a genius. I think you probably are. I know I am. This actually just kind of hurts to read. It does. I love that. And that's not ego. You might be, but I definitely know I'm a genius. That's right. Let's see. Books, lawn care, music. I can disprove evolution. IQ must be 120 plus. Hold on. We got some other stuff to take a look at. I can't read those or tell what the hell they are. You're a child of God, not an ape. I mean, you're right. We're humans. It's a little different. I mean, a little different. Yeah, you're way too uptight for my tastes. We're just gonna fight. Can we please move on? Sure. It was just a misunderstanding. Thank you. And again, I'm sorry. So, these primordial anarchists wish for anything modern to be purged? Any reason you're using so many syllables? I grew up reading dictionaries and encyclopedias instead of books for kids. I grew up a child genius. Okay? You do realize you could read anything you want. I very much doubt that you read encyclopedias and dictionaries, but there are lots of other fun books. You don't have to feel stupid for liking the Warrior Cat series, man. They're fun when you finish eating at an Australian restaurant. Checkmate! So many geniuses that don't get the joke because they don't know what checkmate is or what a chess queen piece looks like. Yeah, nobody has ever played chess. Nobody on the internet knows what chess is. You are correct. Thank you. Oh boy. That's an anime photo. Let's see. IQ of 120. Degree in philosophy. How's that going for you? Samaritan and expert in Roman and Greek history. My English isn't the best, but it is far enough to destroy you in an argument. I am the light in this void of stupidity, with no sense of irony or satire to be found. My death was greatly exaggerated. Okay? The accuracy of your quote is greatly erroneous. It's on par with "Run, you fools" and "Luke, I am your father" in Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, respectively. The real quote is as follows. James Ross Clemens, a cousin of mine, was seriously ill 2 or 3 weeks ago in London, but is well now. The report of my illness grew out of his illness. The report of my death was an exaggeration. Mark Twain. But I love your use of the quote anyways, so take my upvote. Ew. I hate that crap. You got this wrong. Let me try and make you seem and look and feel stupid. Anyway, loved it. Great comment. Upvote for you, bro. Hi, I am blank, young robotics engineer, coder, gamer, otaku, overall a prodigy. You had to put that in quotations. Why? Are you saying that someone else said that about you? Or are you being sarcastic? Kinda? Warning. Skip this post unless you had a decent ACT or SAT score. Why Iron Man and not female? This joke is not for everyone. I feel like it's for a lot more people than you want to pretend it is. We can be honest about that. You think 95% of people are too stupid to understand the periodic table of elements, whereas most people do. Potential evidence of a new Borat being filmed on the streets of LA has emerged. Don't see the humor in it, probably because my IQ is above 5. I don't know, you make comments on Facebook posts. It can't be very high above that. Share if you understand it. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Stephen Hawking. Yes, humans have this incredible ability to notice patterns. Amazing, isn't it? And yes, I did read that on the first try. See, I'm something of a genius. I don't know if you guys knew that. Indonesia. Outdonesia. Indo in Indonesia comes from the Latin word for India. This your meme is metaphysically not funny, but nice try. Thanks for sharing and welcome back. Irving, I hope someone smacks you with a frickin' pie, a big expensive apple pie, just skadoosh, right into your face. Because you are a clown. Grammar shows intelligence. Did you just say he think he's sexy? Total lack of intelligence. I believe you meant he thinks he's sexy. That's what's wrong with you people. What do you mean, you people? Stupid people? Hey, whoa. There's a lot of us. And we could hit you with our fists just as much as you can hit us with true grammar. There is no Sid in Toy Story. He's the next door neighbor to Andy. The bully next door with very short hair. I don't even know the movie that well and just have good memory because my IQ is 144. What? No, I'm with them. Like, what? Yeah. I'm still stuck on the guy that says there's no Sid in Toy Story. Huh? You want to explain? Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend I don't care about the things she talks about? Alright, this one's gonna be fun. Strap in. I, 22, male, was eating dinner at our apartment with my girlfriend, 23, of 2 years, and it turned into an argument. We were eating and talking like usual, and I was talking about the war in Ukraine, and my girlfriend kept changing the topic to something I know nothing about and don't care about. It would go from Ukraine to, this rich CEO's son wants to ruin Louis Vuitton, or some celebrity was spotted with some other celebrity, and I just don't care. I don't care about Louis Vuitton, and I don't care about celebrities, and know nothing about either of them. I was talking about how the forced deportations of Ukrainians, or I was talking about them, in general, I can't read, when she changed the topic again to Khloe Kardashian. I just told her, forget it, we should just eat silently, and she asked me what was wrong. I told her she's talking about stuff I have no interest in, and there's no way for me to add anything to the conversation. She then said she doesn't care about Ukraine, so yeah, okay, now you're just making crap up. You are the asshole. Have a nice day. While it's true that Kasparov is almost as good at playing chess as my iPhone, he is otherwise an idiot. Do you play chess? I did as a child, but found it to be too simple to be useful in real life. A mere 8x8 grid, no fog of war, no technology tree, no random map or spawn position, only 2 players, both sides. This can't be real, right? Look, Musk is a dork, but there's no way this is actually something he said, right? Please. I've been using gravity boots intermittently since 1981. Not everyone does. That was presumptuous of you. Unfounded, erroneous, misleading statements such as the one in your question shouldn't be made. And I have a STEM PhD and I earn 6 figures. And I use the phrase stochastic terrorism. Do I sound smart or am I smart? You sound unbearable, to be perfectly honest. That's actually something it took me a long time to realize. Very smart people can't fathom what it's like to be well below average. I spent my childhood wondering why everyone around me was so slow. Turns out I have a near genius IQ. Wow, couldn't get the genius, did you? You couldn't do it? You couldn't do that, did you? Didn't save me from a myriad of stupid choices in my youth, but I guess I made some choices really fast. But I was in my mid-20s before I started to grasp that my counterparts on the other side of the bell curve weren't just slow, they literally didn't process information the same way I do. And you look down on people for that. You, as someone I would assume you think you're a good person and whatnot, you look down on people who can't do things that you can, who mentally, physically, or otherwise don't have the ability to process information the same way you do. So you think they are beneath you. You think they aren't worthy of the life they have. Am I assuming correctly? Kind of like the assumptions you make about people that are slower than you? Okay. Have you ever been to school? I've been told that baby formula is like feeding rat poison, bleach, and ammonia to your baby. Feed your baby breast milk. Some babies are allergic to breast milk. Some women cannot produce enough, or any at all. Some have adopted babies. Some are single fathers. Also, baby formula is not akin to rat poison. What school did you go to? Homeschool learning from your ignorant parents? No, I went to a prestigious school for smartest children in my country. Yeah, I'm buying that one for sure. Sounds easy enough. I slept through most of school, and trying was rarely ever my plan. You see, as smart as I am, you don't really have to try. Math, science, English, it's all easy. Lifting weights and running for 2 hours is a challenge. Try being a pro gamer. I know that's not what it said, but that's essentially what he is saying. I hate being a know-it-all, but being a gifted genius, learning stuff has always been easy for me. Okay. Yeah, it's not for you. Gender studies seems right up your alley, though. We shall see about that. Last person who doubted me had seen what I was truly capable of. Ever hacked into someone's Gmail account just to prove you could do it? Really? You could have gone a lot harder than that in your lie. You could have said anything. Could have hacked the Kremlin or something like that, man. You could have made up anything and you went hacked someone's Gmail account? Really? The writer team making a most unlikely version of the typical right-wing American to appeal to their moral high-grounded fantasies, at the same time polluting weak minds that don't distinguish between reality and movies and games. Easy to read. Screw socialists, by the way. Mensa came to my middle school when I was in 6th grade. They tested our IQ and mine was 197. They told me I qualified to join Mensa. All I had to do was write a 160-word essay on why I wanted to join. I told them, why should I join? They replied, blah, 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 blah. 197. 197! Let's take a peek at something here, I'm curious. Okay, so according to a 2-second Google search with no actual research into it at all, the highest IQ ever recorded is allegedly 228. So what you're trying to tell me, right now, here, on the internet, where people never lie, is that you have one of the highest IQ scores in human history. Or allegedly, because, we don't know everyone's and haven't known everyone's and haven't done this for super long. But really? One of the highest of all time? That's what you're trying to do? Huh? You think people just do that? Go on the internet and tell lies? How was your day? It was good, just watching some Netflix. Nice. What are you watching? The Office, my favorite show. My dad is the epitome of Michael Scott. Ugh. What? That show is so stupid. You don't learn anything from television like that. Nope. Not reading the rest of that. You want to know why? They're right, by the way. You do sound like an asshole right from the get-go. You don't always have to be learning. Okay? Entertainment can just be that. Sometimes it's okay for it to just be entertaining. My superpower is the speed with which I learn and unify complexity. What? That gives me an edge in every field I step into. That's why I'm here at this speed. I'm grateful for the thousands of follows. I'm grateful for football and the beautiful minds in it. I'm grateful for you. You're talking like you have a superpower, like an actual superpower that allows you to learn at incredible speeds. And you're working in football. My 9-year-old finds quantum mechanics for whatever reason very disturbing. He particularly dislikes superposition, the double slit experiment, and Schrodinger's cat. Today he asked me to explain quantum entanglement, but only a little. If I say stop, then you have to stop. No. Me working out righty-tighty lefty-loosey when I'm upside down under the car? Why the hell would you use integral calculus as well as trigonomic functions to tighten a screw? Oh my god! A while ago in my AP chemistry class, this one annoying kid and my friend were having a weird argument about who was better. The annoying kid said, "Well, at least I have a girlfriend," to which I responded, "Whatever, your girlfriend has 67 protons." In response, the entire class, including the teacher, turned their heads to look at the periodic table on the wall. The element with 67 protons is holmium, with the chemical symbol Ho. My teacher was the first to laugh. And then everybody clapped, hoisted me into the air, and told me I was king of the playground. Dostoevsky, Google, Sayuki. I'm butchering these names. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna stop. I could go on like this. They're all important authors, and I remember them all. Oh shoot, it's Yoko Ono. The musical genius Yoko Ono. Great. Oh man. Are you still treating John's kids like shit? About me. I'm not just another Tinder guy. I have an intricate history, experiences, and feelings. I'm complex. I consume libraries. Jesus, you must be a little too hungry for your own good. I do things like crawl in a lift and say, "the library," and step on it. Oh, vomit. Let's get out of here. How far can 1 liter of diesel travel? Your question is poorly phrased. 1 liter of diesel could have traveled billions of miles if it was aboard the Voyager space probe. If I'd carried the liter of diesel on every car journey I've taken, yeah. You know what the question is, asshat. All right. Either you are trying to troll and are failing badly, or you don't meet the minimum intelligence threshold to continue speaking to me. Again, I'm going to stop some of these a little early, because I feel like he's trolling pretty effectively if he got this response from you. I'm sorry you don't have an Ivy League degree? You didn't graduate magna cum laude with a degree in math? Oh wait, sorry, that's me. But I'm sure being the billionth person to use Khan Academy is truly indicative of your vast intellect. So many of you are going to get so mad when you hear me say magna cum laude instead of magna cum laude. I know, trust me, it's... Let's see. If I could create a euphoria, it would be a world of honesty, a keen sense of sanity amongst all humans on this god-green earth, or whatever the hell anyone fathoms regarding how this universe exists. I don't even have a religion. I believe in the Big Bang Theory, but to be completely honest, I just care about how my life goes, not how it works. Hey, that's fair. Why should I care about it? We all die in the... Oh, now you're getting a little bit into... Anyway, unfortunately, Your book is really boring. You're writing a novel. You're bored. Yeah, I'm sure this novel's gonna fly off the shelves, pal.
Only smart people understand the Oppenheimer movie. Oh, really? Only people with a certain IQ, huh? Yeah, people that dislike this film don't possess the brain power to comprehend its magnitude. I am literally Oppenheimer. Wait, there's more? Oh my god! Expected prior to engaging in such a journey, and is rather their time and money wasted, coupled with a vast feeling of usury and crushing insult, knowing that they, the consumer, has been drained drained deeply of their precious time, and then what remains wholly wasted by this snake oil salesman who deals in childish linguistics. His appearance then becomes the likes of which not Shakespeare himself would see fit for a good mocking.
Are you real? No, this is a paid actor comment. This is not a real human being that wrote this. He did not write a thesis paper as a comment. Defending his position that he can't be racist on the internet because it's just pixels. Oh my god. Oh, and it's over Twitch. Huh? I'm not racist. I'm intelligent. You're woke. There's a difference. Oh no. Oh no. But I don't. You're a fool. Sheep, turn the screen off, loser. I can agree with turn the screen off, but you can absolutely be racist over the internet. It's very possible. On a video essay by a British guy. Oh my goodness.
You perseverate far beyond what is helpful to your audience, which, with your accent, one that would have been identified as strongly / traditionally English even a century ago, and let's not forget all its offshore variants, or any English accent sounding more antiquated than the postmodern average, while not being a learned English accent, comes across as dry, boring, condescending, full of pomp, and lacking in enlightenment, except of the type of faux enlightening that can be found here and all over the mainstream web in any language, and I suspect any accent. The only real difference between hearing it in this language, English, and with your accent is that no matter how proper you speak, or what words you do speak properly, your focus on speech over substance is merely trading the listener's journey towards true education for instead a hopeless quest of understanding. In time, they'll see it for what it is, which is that they have been listening to a cheap auditory ear massaging that lacked the substance of thought and depth of personal advancement expected prior to engaging.
What video essay do you think this was under? Like the entire history of Papa's Pizzeria or something, and then he left a comment like this. His IQ is over 140 and he's a physics major. Number one, if anyone in the convo is stupid, it's you, not me. I am a physics major and 140 plus IQ. Number two, you look almost as white, meaning you barely have any Aztec DNA. Number three, there is scant to no evidence, scant meaning little, by the way, I'm very smart, of them having any accurate or developed medicine, science, or math whatsoever. If you claim otherwise, you're lying to feed some personal bias toward equality that you have. And like my own comment, and there we go. Oh god, why is it faded like this? Hold on, I gotta zoom in. I must express my disappointment with the chess puzzle in question. Despite its initial allure, it proved to be disappointingly facile. The queen's sacrifice is obvious, lacking the intricate complexities and strategic depth that one would expect from a truly challenging puzzle. The under-promotion was too in your face. Its predictability was apparent from the outset, leaving no room for the nuanced decision-making and creative maneuvers that make chess puzzles truly engaging. As an ardent chess enthusiast, I relish the opportunity to grapple with puzzles that demand a higher level of intellectual acumen. On this festive occasion of Christmas Eve, it would have been particularly delightful to encounter a puzzle that not only captured the spirit of the season, but also provided a stimulating mental workout. Alas, this puzzle has fallen short, requiring my constructive criticism. It's shit. Now I must survive unreasonable downvotes from chess players who, while skilled, perhaps would only manage to stalemate me back when I was 12 and avoid overly censorious moderators. Good day to you, and of course, happy holidays. Who formats this picture like this and thinks, yeah, that's good? That's what I'm saying. Why has it got a crazy opacity on it? It's horrible. Why are AP courses so easy for me? Is it just me, or is AP easy? Basically the title. Last year I took my first AP class as a sophomore AP Euro. It was ridiculously easy. I never did the readings required, apart from spending 10 minutes the night before going over the material needed for an in-class essay. I ended up passing the exam. This year I'm in Bio, A-Push, Lang, and Comp Sci. None of these classes are difficult in any way. I spend maybe an hour a week on homework and studying. Is it just the way my school's way of teaching is structured?
structured? Or are these classes indeed just easy? Notice they said passed and not earned highest score. Maybe they're not as smart as they say.
Quora user writes 1,000 word rambling monologue about why people with 140 IQ are superior to people with 135 IQ. Here's the funniest section of it. My own experience is that I have a lot of extra information coming at me in comparison to peers and coworkers, both internally and externally. When someone says something, my brain acts like a search engine and dredges up everything I've ever read or heard on the topic. I have music playing in my head with 21 instruments and I can hear each one. I see lines, shapes, and shadows when looking at the world and God, this guy. And can recreate them from memory in many formats, digitally, traditionally, verbally, etc. After a full day of working at this pace, sound and vision can be painful and I have to turn off the word part of my brain or it might rupture and come out of my nose and ears. Sound and vision hurt. I am the employee that employers want kept in a flow state 24/7. So I can access and use all of that stored info productively. A lot of the new school policies on think groups in business are to try to get the 135ers to function in the same way, to unlock their potential productivity. I tend to think that you can't make that car run like that if it wasn't built to run like that. My talent is a good memory and the ability to process information faster than others. I was tested multiple times throughout school because I was failing to perform at the standards that the magic number said I should, so they kept thinking there must be some mistake. I am like an odd beetle on a pin. Can someone agree with me, please? Please tell me I'm smart. New copy pasta? Uh-oh. All right, if this is a copy pasta, I want everyone in the comments to write it down. I would like to say that I empathize with and understand your frustrations. However, you've clearly demonstrated that you have too little brain matter to fully understand the culture of the Reddit community, and I find it impossible to empathize with smooth brains. Adding on to that, you're also misrepresenting the Reddit community. I would suggest that you re-educate yourself on this topic. However, you seem to lack the fundamental elementary principles to even educate yourself about the basics of the Reddit community. I don't... This fucking guy. I don't think it would be too much of a logical stretch to assume that you have a sub 100 IQ based on what you've said so far. Boo. Boo. That is massive copy pasta potential though. I would doubt my memory too if I was this person, not gonna lie. It's very hard for people to doubt their own vivid memory. I have took the following approach to my own memory when I was about 19 years old and once again foolishly followed my hopes of developing a pedagogy. I don't know what that is. What is this word? Okay, so he wanted to develop a method of teaching that doesn't waste as much time from the children as the current one. In this ever-changing world, memories are overrated. You might remember how your demolished childhood home was, but it's useless in a map for the present. You might remember your school friends that you're no longer in touch with, but they're probably different now. Embracing this relinquishing of memory improved my life because I began to realize that some problems arise because people can't understand that the world has changed and get stuck in their memories, while I'm always continuously scanning reality again and again to find current facts. Because I love the facts, so I'm that smart. Hot and brilliant, a combo? I may look a certain way, but my mom was a former PhD professor. My family full of doctors and teachers and philanthropists. I'm educated and articulate. Don't let the body fool you. I'll write a 40-page dissertation and cite every source. MLA, APA, or Turabian. I went to college at 15, yelling emoji. This sexy shit an act, y'all. In response to someone criticizing an AI-generated image in a chess article, I don't think the point was to have an exact number of rows between the material. The wobbling bicycle was. I prefer a point made, evocated, explicited, than an obscured wall of exact truth I can't see. The reasoning or purpose towards something else. See, I even went from a punchline here to an unreadable, more nuanced statement via editing myself in self-criticism for non-exactitude with respect to my average thinking. God, these people are so wordy. They like to use a lot of word. The high character count means I'm smart, right? No. Intelligence is being able to communicate your point and not have to use as many words. That's what I think. Original statement was, I prefer a point made to a truth I can't see. Now, compare the two. Yet, I think the improvement formula is a bit abrupt, but I guess these are concerns I do not share or understand about what those blogs are doing on the front page of Lycus. Best is to be chirurgical, find the relevant, and be generous to let the less relevant pass, if not obstructing the view too much. So, thanks for bringing that point of not expecting chess learning is just
ridiculous robotic application of some external prefabricated complete knowledge that is required before doing anything or thinking anything. It is an element to consider in finally thinking about theories of learning in chess, whether coming from a titled author or not. It can be chewed without having oneself as a title, as long as not arguing by title implicitly or not.
Oh, poor you high IQ person. Will low or average IQ people ever realize that a high IQ is not a fun thing to have? Ooh, heavy is the brain on the thinker. This guy is putting himself forward as president of Iceland. Book overview. In a world where the unseen dictates the scene, the compelling narrative delves into the depths of social engineering and its occult underpinnings. Drawing from ancient manuscripts shrouded in mystery, it reveals a tapestry of hidden influences that have shaped history and continue to mold our present and future. The book meticulously unravels the complex interplay of mythological grandeur and futuristic technology, offering an unprecedented exploration of the power structures that govern societies from the shadows. It's a journey that takes the reader through the corridors of secret societies, unearthing their strategies of control and influence that transcend time and borders. Through a blend of mythical storytelling and factual analysis, the author skillfully navigates the murky waters of political manipulation, demonstrating how public perception is crafted and swayed by a few. With each chapter, the veil is lifted a little higher, exposing the intricate web of deceit and power play that lies beneath the surface of societal norms and conventions. This book is not just a recount of historical events, it's a revelation of the continuous struggle for power played out through the ages. It deciphers the enigmatic language of the ruling elites, unveiling their cryptic symbols and rituals. The narrative is woven with a sense of urgency and insight, urging the reader to look beyond the obvious and question the narratives fed by mainstream channels. I'm so lost. How is this president of why is this related to the president of Iceland? Is that like an analogy? I don't get it. Self-proclaimed non-normie. Being an introverted thinking dominant type is seriously one of the most painful things ever. I really can't stand other people. I honestly am flabbergasted at the irrationality and stupidity of normies that I witness every day. Now, being an ISTP, I am able to adapt well in the normie world and even come across as one of them. I'm in shape, dress well, I have an education, a job, decent social skills, and don't take things too seriously in situations with people to come across as more likable. I believe I am a healthy ISTP with mastery on my FE, etc. All things that normies say are good for you, even though they don't understand why. However, I cannot wrap my head around the lack of critical thought people put into the decisions they make, why they think the way they do, why they have the opinions they have. It drives me crazy when from my perspective, I'm the only one who's put any level of thought into anything. Shut up, dude. Sorry, I'm getting a little annoyed. Proof by intuition. My intuition is always right because you're taking Intuitain. Otherwise, it wouldn't be intuition. QED. Seems pretty obvious to me. I was finding Taylor's series for functions before I even took the proper calculus course. It's just a simple logical deduction. I hate that people always say, this isn't intuitive at all. Yes, it is. Literally always intuitive and obvious. I love when a professor tries to make a point how unintuitive something is and how non-obvious it is by asking the class to answer, expecting totally wrong answers. Then I answer and ruin his fun by getting it right immediately, despite me never having seen this prior. Usually I just stay quiet though and never say a word in class, whilst getting 98% plus in all exams. I know, I am inferior, as I should be getting 100% on everything, but I fail at this and thus fail myself. Damn, it's like whipping himself, dude. In the entirety of my double major in mathematics and physics, I didn't run into a single thing that was unintuitive. My intuition is always right. If that wasn't the case, then it wouldn't be intuition. This is a non-rigorous proof that most mathematics don't understand what intuition is. I think, and someone replied, Fourier transforms and Fourier series are not more advanced. It is literally just calculus 1 material. I went to college thinking I would be around smart people. Turns out, I was the only one that self-taught myself calculus before taking the course, and everyone else was an absolute oaf that struggled. Oh, it's the same guy. He replied to his own thing. I was literally coming up with Taylor series on my own in Calc 1, and it is utterly obvious and 100% intuitive. So I'm sick and tired of people saying this super obvious stuff is not intuitive. I also came up with Fourier series, as it is also utterly obvious. In fact, you can literally create any function with any arbitrary functions, provided you can choose the coefficients of those arbitrary functions and have an infinite amount of them. Dude, these people ever get tired of smelling their own farts? Not paying attention in class, but spend nights and weekends trying to disprove Einstein relativity theories. Very smart. What are the best study methods? At high school, I routinely scored over 95%
100% in most subjects. At a highly competitive private school, I was at the top of my class for every subject I took at one time or another. Often, most of my subjects, most of the time. All the while, barely paying attention in class, not doing my homework. I had a lot of piano practice to do. I was aiming to be a professional pianist. So, ain't nobody got time for that. Am I right? What I did do, though, was spend hours every night, weekend, and often during class, trying to prove everything I was taught wrong. When we were taught relativity, for example, I spent literally hundreds of hours tearing apart the equations to find out where Einstein got it wrong, or trying to devise alternate explanations. Or when we were doing electricity and magnetism, I spent hours designing an Earth-size electrical generator. You made it the size of the Earth? Figuring out how much copper would be required to generate enough electricity for the whole world. How fast do we need to rotate? Okay, boy genius. I write short novels based on fantasy worlds where I described in great details the ecosystems and drew animals and described their biology and evolution. I invented a new model for light, neither wave nor particle. When we were learning about that, I invented a new language and alphabet, was a massive Tolkien fan, etc., etc. So basically, yeah, I'm f***ing awesome and you suck. So that's basically the vibe I get from these guys. They're like, yeah, I'm pretty awesome, I'm sick, and you're not. I found the final boss, a guy who once randomly friend requested me on Facebook. Oh my god. Oh boy, we're in for a tongue lashing here. The application at the engineering firm has been rejected. It was nay due to lacking the prerequisite qualifications, if you can call them that, as I almost border on being overqualified to these fragments. They're merely fortunate enough that they've been endowed with a buyer's market by the current labor market conditions, which are, let's say, less than desired at the moment. Under better circumstances, I wouldn't even know these pitiful excuses of engineers even existed. But heed this. That is kind of a baller way to say, but hear this. The rejection, the awfully misguided rejection, had nothing to do with competency. It was rather, more regrettably if I might add, attributed to credibility issues with my claim of possessing aptitude of quasi-omniscience? Now, if I only had a penny, I have to take liberties when the occasion calls for describing my faculties. And it's not only the faculties themselves, mind you. In addition to said faculties, they are compounding complexities of hermeneutic frameworks. These are cognitive systems which interpenetrate a multitude of ontological realms. Bro, oh my god. Which all breathe life into the very... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word. That is my dear AQO. One is, of course, meat space. Meat space? Probably mean metaspace. The other, well, that assumes a lot of prior knowledge of the metaphysics. Hint, Plato's analogy of the sun is a good endpoint, but begin with the cave. So, what is to be expected, dear reader? How do I characterize these interlacing labyrinths of intellectual hardware and software to the intellectually average? Well, you don't. I might as well be stuttering a defunct indigenous language of the Brazilian rainforest, Google translated to Klingon after a stroke. Thus, for the sake of succinctness, but more importantly and quite frankly or selflessly, never said I don't care about people, being fathomable to the common man, it's not in my interest to perplex. Never was. I have to resort to similes, which populate the pool of fodder for the two greater analogies, and from there the allegory is conceived. There's nothing more beautiful. Now you might ask, what could this possibly be? It's a library. No, the library. While these underlying mechanisms of intricate conjugating processes work, on the magic behind the scenes, a library materializes in front of my eyes, and it might as well be as vivid as my keyboard is at this very moment. Just like how Jesus, no! Just like how Jesus imbued his teachings through parables, I go to a library to acquire knowledge no mortal could possibly know. An adequate comparison if I say so myself. You just compared yourself to the big dog upstairs? Come on, man. Let's put him in the cave for 3 days. I crave randomness in a world full of predictable humans. You'd be surprised when you'll have a job for him or get him to revile his methods. So loopholes can be patched. People on the spectrum like myself are highly intelligent in a variety of different ways. I can remember anything that interested me or was of note from 30 years ago as a young child in vivid details that I can recite back to anyone. I never used my photographic memory to study maths and English, as that doesn't stimulate me at all. People's behaviors, mannerisms, and therefore a lack of understanding of basic things interests me, and I can and have used things against people to get my own way in a lot of different situations. I've even told people that I can manipulate any given situation to my advantage, but I'll be honest, it gets kind of boring getting your own way all the time. I crave randomness in a world full of predictable humans. I can tell you what someone will do or say before they even do it. From a simple 2-minute conversation. I try to let people prove me wrong, but that rarely happens at all, as most people will revert back to type, as it's their safety blanket and it's all they'll ever know.
Is this a copy pasta?
No, I really believe this. I own this.
This is so perfect. For the time that you look at this image, you don't know if it's a boy and a girl, or a girl and a girl, a boy and a boy, a black man, white girl, a white man and an Asian girl. You know nothing. Just the simplicity of the connection and the beauty of two human beings sharing love, and that's all that should ever matter. False. The external occipital protuberance on the right skull is much more pronounced, indicating that it is male, while on the left it is female. Also, both skulls have undulating jawbones, mostly ascribed to Caucasians or Africans. The back of the lower jaw is flatter on the left, meaning that the owner is most likely Caucasian. Unfortunately, the edge of the jaw is obscured on the right, making it harder to distinguish. Of course, all this data is imprecise, but it paints a picture of a straight, non-Asian couple, most likely both white. Nice idea, though. You know, I don't trust anybody that looks at skulls like this. They always seem to be portrayed in a very particular way in media, don't they? 19-year-old girl takes pride in not being able to socialize with people in her age group. When you get along better with the 35-plus-year-old chemists and PhDs than with the 25-plus-year-old party-goers? That's great. That's super cool. Look, if that's how you want to live, then I don't care. Why would it matter, you know? I guess at the end of the day, the big problem is always going to come back to you looking down on other people. There's nothing wrong with getting along with the 35-plus-year-old chemists and PhDs, but I know damn well when you're talking about the 25-plus-year-old partygoers, you're like, yeah, they're the losers. I don't want to hang out with them anyway. They never picked me for kickball. Guy I went to high school with. He also says he plans to run for president. He isn't joking. I live my life 500 miles at a time. No more, no less. I'm focused on my destination and think about the future. I'm a really complex and interesting person. Dude, if you're gonna run for president, you can't be posting cringe, okay? You have to wait until after you're in office to post cringe. You see, that's the rule once you make it. I can't wait to see if this dude ever actually tries. I don't really know I know that there's, age requirements and stuff like that, but I'd like to see whoever this is, so I can absolutely give them my vote. Reddit user flaunts his intelligence and superiority in his bio. I bet. I'm a software developer and a PhD in physics. I'm here primarily for fun and knowledge. One thing to know about me is that I'm nice only with nice and smart people. Given that lots of stupid people are out there, I'm not generally a nice person. I don't have the will to win people around, unless they're valuable and have contributed to this world positively. If you're not one of those, I very likely won't have the will to play it nice with you unless you play it very nice with me. It's just a really long way of saying, hey, if you're a jerk, I'm gonna be a jerk. Because you can just say that. But no, you wanted to purple prose this up, didn't you? You wanted to sound so much smarter and better than other people. Art critic fails to understand the point of an artwork. All right, hold on, let's see here. Let me take a look at this picture really quick. That's actually just a really good piece of art. I like it a lot. I can definitely, what's the word? Empathize? Sympathize? I get it. That's what I'm saying. I get it. I've been there. One of the worst drawings I've seen for understanding how light patterns from an area, the monitor. The spread is typical of a point source with enclosing shade, and even then the shadow of her head is ludicrous. Physics of light is part of communicative drawing and painting. These understandings emerged early in the Renaissance. Keep up? Man, imagine thinking you're an art critic and you take everything either literally or you look at it from a realistic perspective. Dude, that's so boring, okay? Grow up, dude. I regret that some of the women who could break my heart are women who can't sustain/initiate a conversation on black holes, Marxism, behavioral economics, criminology, smart agriculture, literary criticism, number theory, poison? No, that's not right. Distribution, etc. What a wasted youth. You sound very sad. Dude, look, anybody can talk about this crap. Anybody. Look, we'll start a conversation about black holes right now. I think they teleport you to the back rooms. All right, let's go. What makes you special? What makes me special? I'm 5'11", taller than most Indian guys. I'm 17 and own an iPhone 12 Pro. I have a PS5 as well as a gaming PC, Core i9 RTX 3090. I live in the United States of America, LA to be precise. Yeah, that makes you real special. My ex-girlfriends have all been white, something I'm proud of. That feels really weird. I'm an intellectual, okay? I think I'm a mix between alpha and sigma male, smalpha, algma, algma. I like that one. A lone wolf type, but very outgoing too. I'm working out to be more muscular at just 17 years of age. Most kids of my age watch Friends and I read Feynman lectures and watch more intellectual shows. I don't use garbage like Facebook, Twitter, or Reddit. Where is this posted? I only use Quora, LinkedIn, etc. Keep up your... So is this on LinkedIn? Because this is frickin' great. I like Italian food over Indian. I want to become a billionaire. Biggest life goal. Most of my friends are into middle-wage jobs. Dream higher and bigger, fellas. I like physics, maths, astronomy, over low IQ subjects like arts. Ooh. Someone wasn't creative enough to get into art schools. It's boring as hell and doesn't make use of the brain one bit. Are you high? I'm a budding polymath and polyglot. I'm pretty fair-skinned too. Why do you keep pointing stuff like that out? I prefer relationships over hookups, as I've tried them both. Oh, I'm so sure you have, for certain. You had to throw in the, by the way, I have had sex right at the end. That's what he's doing. Cute Japanese girl, thanks for the likes. Please follow me. It's not only enough to be cute. I want to read intellectually stimulating posts when I'm on Twitter, with important messages and so forth. You want what? You come to Twitter for stimulating posts, like intellectually stimulating? I would kill to see this guy's likes. No, really, I want to know what kind of garbage they like. I'm sure there's a few, like, weird propagandic tweets sprinkled around a crap ton of hentai. I'm a biochemist, and I'm not impressed. Where's the vitamin K and folate? Never mind everything else. K stops bleeding. Why aren't they in a multivitamin? Bleeding people, kind of important. Where's the missing 33%? Vitamin C, you know, anti-cancer? Never mind the other missing stuff. You're a biochemist, and you just called vitamin C anti-cancer? So something here is not really adding up. What architect designed the glass pyramid in the courtyard of the Louvre? Philip Johnson? Frank Gehry? Two names I can't really pronounce? I know that the average American is very uneducated and pretty stupid, but these $250,000 and $500,000 questions would be below $1,000 in the UK. Did you know the answer? No. Stop the video before the riot, because I've seen this video. This dude's a G, okay? But did you know the answer, pal? This man's dating profile states he values intelligence. Intelligence. I can name all of the presidents backwards. I can name all current U.S. Supreme Court justices. Oh, wow, because there's like 2 of them? All retired and living U.S. Supreme Court justices, plus a good number of U.S. Supreme Court justices from history. Can you stop saying U.S. Supreme Court justices, please? I can name all of the Super Bowl winners backwards. I can name all of the British prime ministers from World War II to today. I watch Jeopardy, and, the hell does that stand for? Chase, split second, and tug of words. I'm a knowledge/information sponge. But you sound so sad. I mean, really. You can name names. You're smarter than the rest of us for sure. That's just knowledge for knowledge's sake. That's just trivia knowledge. How does that help you learn? How does knowing all the Supreme Court justices or every president backwards really mean anything in terms of intelligence? That just means that you can memorize a bunch of names. Like with me, almost every time an actor pops up on screen in a movie, I know who they are. Almost. Plenty that I can't name for sure, or I forget because I'm stupid. But that doesn't help me in any way. It doesn't mean I'm smart. It means I'm on the spectrum and I'm really good at going, it's Daniel Day-Lewis, I knew it! It's been 7 days. 7 days of learning Python, and I find it hard. My IQ is 126, and I know I'm a genius. However, coding is still a challenge to me. Should I quit or persevere? Isn't Python, recommended as a really good starting point? Easier to learn, harder to master sort of thing? Or was I told the wrong thing? Because I got into it for a tiny bit. About an hour, yeah. And everyone said, yeah, start with Python. That's the easiest one to start with. Other brilliant man, Rare, and other humble enough to learn what you teach. Young kings, there's a price to pay for being a winner. At the highest echelon of brilliance, you can only be friends with two kinds of people. Other brilliant men, rare. Those humble enough to learn as you teach. Anyone else will turn on you, sooner or later. What? Stop trying to sound smart. It gets very confusing. Agreed. This is my most frequent reaction to performative outrage. I have a statistics degree, practicing the pathos side of reasoning used in the humanities. Emotion argumentation is ridiculous to point of parody, begging for satire. We cannot tell what's real or comedy any longer. Will you quit using big words like it makes it seem smarter? I know that's the most common thing to do. Break out the thesaurus, or rather the website, because who uses the book? I mean, come on. Break it out, and then just filter in a bunch of stupid words. Emotion argumentation is ridiculous to point of parody. Argumentation? What?
Practicing the pathos side of reasoning used in the humanities.
Just stop it. Just stop it. I literally learned Japanese just from anime. It's really easy to learn if you listen to it. I'm just kind of a genius, I guess. You need to prove that you learned Japanese from anime. And I'm not talking about, say, sugoi or nani. I want you to actually speak to someone who knows how to speak the language fluently, like a native, and then we can prove that you're full of crap. I don't know a single human being, no matter how genius, who has learned any language just from watching shows. No, come on, man. There's that dude on YouTube that does those videos where white guy surprises these people with their native language. I bet not even that guy could learn Japanese just from anime, and that dude is an insane genius. This is part of the reason I try to write with the amount of effort I do. It's far easier to understand by most metrics, along with the fact that it will be harder to see inherent flaws with how I write. Some people find it annoying when people write like they would a college essay, but I don't solicit that opinion anyway. Man, you actually have upvotes on this comment. It's kind of sad. Not that you put effort into a comment. I think everybody should and could be putting in a little bit more effort in their responses and comments and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to read an essay. I don't want to feel like I'm reading an essay, but this was a lot easier to read than some of the alternatives or some of the other things we've seen here on this channel, ain't that right? But you don't have to sound like such a douche when you do it. I personally think watching a game streamer is foolish, but to each their own. Entertainment is subjective. Whenever I try to comprehend the fractal abstractions of watching a person concealed by a fake personality and fake character overlay play a video game to a... That accent has changed like 9 times, by the way. I did like 40 different accents there. Okay, let me continue here. The fractal abstractions of watching a person concealed by a fake personality and fake character overlay play a video game to appease an unceasing waterfall of sentence fragments and emoji. My brain reboots. Did you really just use the phrase, comprehend the fractal abstractions? That doesn't mean anything. Remember, the average native English speaker does not talk like this. We don't say things like fractal abstractions. We don't do that. In all realness, in all realness with you, that doesn't mean a damn thing to any normal person. I am versed in the ways of the human mind. Before I liked this subreddit a lot, but then I entered the faculty of psychology and realized that its members lack quality as people, frustrated and projecting themselves on different people in practices or actions. This leads them to want to make fun of other people's pain and misfortune, shame and misery. Unpleasant people that I have no idea why they think they are superior to others. And I mean it. I have no idea. They all have the same respiratory system, and same digestive system. They're all the same. The only thing that changes is the shell and the masks that they create so exhaustively, so as not to look weak and mediocre. Okay, man. I farted. Thank you. We need more people like that guy out here. Love's like a cigarette. It's fun at first, but eventually it kills you. I'm 13, and this is deep. Okay, kid, I'm 16 and don't feel it's deep. Right now, quantum mechanics and string theory are deep for me. You don't know what either of those things are. I can almost guarantee it. The fulfillment of my dopamine receptors finds no equal to the profound satisfaction emanating from the consumption and introspection of striking specimens of philosophical literature. O. Edmund Husserl's phenomenology of habitually and habitus. You've rocked my bloody world. Again, none of that meant anything. That right there, by the way, what I just read is how English sounds to people that can't speak it. You know what I mean?
The profound satisfaction emanating from the consumption and introspection of striking specimens of philosophical literature.
Watching a show clearly makes you smart with indispensable skills that can run a $30 billion public company. I love how we, the fans, were acknowledged as smart, discerning intellectuals. It's true. And I'm 100% certain that each of us knows it for a fact as well. You can only truly enjoy Succession if one is highly curious, highly capable of abstract thinking, and filling in so many... Oh my god. This is just... You have to have a very high IQ to enjoy Rick and Morty all over again. I'm so glad I never watched this show. Ironically, I find it limiting. It feels like I'm versed in the mundanity of life, and I'm still in my 20s. Very late 20s, mind you. Like, you're hearing the same joke over and over, and no one around you is tired of it. I have a friend who's not gifted, and the cycles he finds himself in are apparent to me, but still elicit the same vigor for him. I believe to be ignorant of your folly, in a dichotomous sense, is liberating. You can just start again tomorrow without being... That's great. Most mentally sane Discord user. Help me believe it's not the real me. Somebody help me tame this animal. Harvard graduate, PhD, IQ of 138, the Stanford Binet, it doesn't matter. Sex pundit? What the hell does that mean? Cunning linguist, free-thinking alpha male, and lone wolf. Likely hotter than you, and definitely smarter. Debate me. I'm ready. Remember, people that are looking to debate like this are trying to do it in very bad faith, and it's literally impossible to win. Because they're not there to debate you. They're there to get you into a, oh, gotcha moment, so they can, win or whatever. Also, how can you be an alpha male and a lone wolf? I thought the Sigmas were the lone wolves. As someone who tested in the 99th percentile and higher for reading skills in school, it really put my frustration with other people's reading skills into perspective. I would notice a lot of my classmates would entirely skip over words when reading out loud or read the first few letters of a word and then guess what the rest of the word is. There'd end up being an enormous gap between what was on the page and what was read out loud, both in terms of content and overall meaning. It was dreadful and kind of frightening that people were getting passed along in school on their way to graduation with somewhere between a 4th and 8th grade reading level. Felt lucky, though, as I was reading at a 12th grade level or so by 5th grade. Same, but I don't go around saying that, because it's weird. I'm very stupid, but the one thing that I could do really well, better than almost everybody I ran into in school, the one thing that I actually could do, yeah, that was reading. I could read and speak very well. Now, I leave a lot of my goof-ups in these videos now because I think it's kind of important that you guys know that I ain't perfect. I screw up reading these all the time, especially if it's something long like this. But damn it, that was the only thing I had. I'm not going to go around going, well, I'm reading at a college level and you're reading at a 9th grade level. You're stupid. Dude, no, I'm stupid. So is their IQ 150 or not? If you had an IQ over 150, would you tell anyone? No. What are the top 5 critical things that every young adult should know before they move out on their own? I don't know. How do people with IQs of 140 to 200 think from a social, intellectual, and practical point of view? I tested at 150 in high school. My parents showed this score to me and I decided to graduate early. You just decided to graduate early? Also, isn't the highest IQ ever recorded like 184 or something like that? So who the hell out there with a 200? Dude has a hissy fit about a minigun in a video game. First of all, it's a Maxim gun, not a Gatling, and especially not a minigun, which refers to a specific model chambered in 7.62 NATO rounds. Edit. Apologies, but pedanticism doesn't let that slide. First of all, that's not a Maxim gun, that's pixels on a screen. It cost you 400,000 downvotes to fire this little nugget of knowledge for 12 seconds. Also, I don't know why, I never see people talking about the minigun, but I was obsessed with that specific thing as a kid. Just to go off the rails for a moment, isn't it called that because it's literally a miniature version of the stupid cannon that they have to build a plane around? Guy shows off his big brain on a simple meme. Okay, cool. That's like very Giving Tree-esque in a way, I guess. We ourselves put mud on our heads by our senseless actions. Any quantum of advice proved futile. Our whole generation is an idiotic excuse for evolutionary theoretical Pedagogy? Wow, some of these words don't feel real. See, I said just a second ago that I was really good at reading and speaking aloud, and then I come across words like that and they ruin everything. That God was like, psych, or psych, pronounced as psych instead of psyche, I see, as in using psychology to psych out someone. Psych was always just a lazy spelling of spoken words by someone who didn't understand what they were hearing, like Master of Ceremony, MC, turning into MC in writing by people who didn't know what MC was. Cool, that is how slang works. Thank you very much for the lesson. She, her. Smarter than you in every way, an expert in advanced physics and multiple languages, the light in the darkness of ignorance, that is this website. You can try to debate me, but I always win. Yeah, I wonder why. I just talked about that. Debate bros, including you, are not doing it in good faith in any way. You don't want to learn anything, you just want to win. Does feeding infants tea increase their IQ? Okay. I've been drinking tea since the age of 2. And I'm the smartest person I know of. That you know of? Are you high? I believe the caffeine in the tea increases a baby's brain activity and gets the synapses firing. This makes them smarter and more intelligent. I don't have any sources to prove it, but maybe some scientists could study this. When you're a baby, your brain is far more malleable than as an adult, so feeding babies tea/coffee could be a way to make them smarter. You're the smartest person that you know of, and you're suggesting we start feeding our infants black coffee. We are Magadonians. We are very smart. We stick together as one. We follow Truth Social. We put America first, and we will make America great again. Anybody want to take bets on who made this post? Anybody got any ideas? Because I'm coming up blank. This man thinks he's smarter, but he can't even type. I will do my best. You girls wanted the equal opportunities and obligations. Understand the offer to help can be resented. Your vibes is an answer. We don't have to tolerate your soul character accountabilities. As a respectable answer, soul actions is either attraction or that value of a cat's hairball in kitty litter so done with female. I once valued females, then when they told me learn my worth and I measured theirs to how much they are hands-on life situations as me beside me and what test score that is school education-wise. Every kid you made and don't have that man is a grade level held back. Some of you don't even rank daycare. Even if that wasn't one of the worst run-on sentences I've ever seen in my life, there's no way you could make sense of this. What I found crazy is that things like gravity are just theories and not actual hard definition fact. To my understanding, some science is just theory. Most science uses the scientific method, which I guess you can test, but most things just end up being theories. Don't try to debate me on this because I know nothing like Jon Snow. What? I am one of the most intelligent attorneys and penetrating legal minds of this generation. What? I don't like that term at all. One of the what? With its main office located in... this is like a Black Ops. What is this? Prides himself on his vast intellectual abilities and his ability to become an expert in any field of the law in an extremely short time span. Often learning in 1 week. Doctrines that even experts in their respective fields fail to grasp. This feels weird. Is this in a... Oh, it's an ad. Coming soon, the Dip Law Firm. Although he doesn't understand coding, he's still a frickin' genius. Programming is easy. I don't freaking understand any code. My IQ is 143, and yes, I am flexing. Sorry, you are not forgiven. Asking if he would have made it into Mensa as a kid. I, independently of anyone's influence, discovered the fundamental theorem of calculus when I was in the 3rd grade, though I didn't really understand its full magnitude. Shortly after, I had also independently discovered algebra in 2nd grade. If my parents had let me skip... Wait, what? Shortly after I had... Oh, I see what you're saying. It's just written stupid. If my parents had let me skip grades and didn't prioritize socialization, I would have skipped at least 4. I took an IQ test after I got a concussion that seriously affected my processing speed and still got a 130. I don't know, dude. Should have corrected her spelling mistakes to show that she isn't smart. Should have. It can be pronounced either way, but thanks for the consideration, much appreciated. You've got to be kidding. You should really check up on it. The way of English literature is really different from when I was in school. Sure, a lot of people will smash them together into what is called a contraction. Am I right on that? Should've, should have, not should of. Sure, when we speak fast, it doesn't matter. I know what you're saying, you know what I'm saying. However, when you spell it out, it's a little different. On a conversation about pride. I'm 6'3", train martial arts, and have an IQ measured at 156. I was born into a family with ties to German nobility. My last name starts with von. You expect me not to be proud? I walked the streets knowing that I could take most people out both physically and intellectually. Why would I consider myself their equal? Only slaves and inferior people seek equality because they know they can't compete. When you're truly excellent and full of vitality, you despise... what? Egalitarianism? Wow, that is not... I just made up that word. What I said was not what that word says. Don't know what it is. See? They keep throwing these stupid, big, smart people words at me and my dumb idiot brain can't comprehend no more. When a worm is stamped upon the ground, it curls up and makes itself small. There's your humility. When a lion is challenged, it goes straight for the neck. There's your pride. So are you racist or something? Because you are really giving off some nasty ass vibes. Talking about, why shouldn't I be proud? Why would I not be? Only slaves and inferiors seek equality. Yikes. Wonder why he's still looking at 45. Let's see. I'm a professional nuclear engineer. What's there more to say? 6 foot plus, 6 figures, 260 with a 34-inch waist. Am I checking all the boxes? I do not care what you are. I don't care what you make. Men don't see any of it anyway. I want a real woman. Another reason I'm on here. I want to know how many likes I get, given I'm 0.5% of the population in this country. What? Freshly harvested from a discussion about democracy not being good. What? People have very obviously become objectively stupid collectively. Sure, I only notice this because I have this strange ability to think critically, yet you're not using it now. How strange. You of tears? Oh, okay. How do I balance an obsession with academia and having normal friends? I find it very hard to be attracted to, become friends with, or sometimes just hold conversations with people who aren't extremely intelligent. I guess in some sense you'd use the term sapiosexual, and it's ruining my life. I get called pretentious a lot, but really I just refuse to dumb myself down for people and am proud of my intelligence. I'm a first-gen uni student. I want to change before coming to uni since it makes me feel elitist or rude at times, and I feel like I'm cutting out a huge population of great people I can learn from just because they don't seem intelligent enough when I first meet them. Well, at least you're taking the first step to not being a douche. As long as you actually take people's suggestions seriously. I can suggest an equation that has the potential to impact the future. E equals mc squared plus AI. This equation combines Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc squared, which relates to energy, to mass, and the speed of light, with the addition of artificial intelligence. By including AI in the equation, it symbolizes the increasing role of artificial intelligence in shaping and transforming our future. This equation highlights the potential for AI to unlock new forms of energy, enhance scientific discoveries, and revolutionize various fields such as healthcare, transportation, and technology. What? Hot take. All monolinguals are the worst. Not simply English-speaking ones. Duolingo is free. Non-English monolinguals don't get a free pass for being monolinguals just because English speakers are the worst about their monolingualism. I have formerly studied Spanish, French, Russian, German, taught myself Swedish, and natively understand, is it Tamil? As well as have taught myself 7 programming languages. My largest issue is a lack of chances to practice, although I've recently decided I'll attempt Spanish fluency. Everyone should at least try to learn a second language, regardless of what their native language is. I do agree. At the very end, I do think everyone should at least try a little bit. That's why, high school still requires, or at least it did a decade ago when I graduated, that you take at least one second language, for I believe they required 1 full year, maybe 2 full years, I can't remember. All I know is I have studied Japanese, I have studied Spanish, I have learned a little bit of Finnish. I'm terrible, I can't retain anything, so I genuinely do wish that I was actually smart enough to fully learn another language. It would be super cool and incredibly useful, and I wouldn't seem like that dumb, super white guy that, probably refused to, when that's not the case. Alright? I'm just not smart enough to do that shit. And thank you for making me feel worse about it. Their tests are a failure. I'm literally a certified genius. So tell me I didn't pass their cognitive test just means that they don't know how cognitive tests work. In short, almost the entire test is numerical math problems, the kind no one ever actually does in real life. Yes, there were some actual cognition questions, but very few. Just math, and more math. I have a disability related to reading numbers. But again, I'm a certified freaking genius, and reading numbers has nothing to do with critical thinking. Nothing. Sure. Everyone is smart in their own way. Like with me, I'm not. And I'm like you though. I suck at numbers, dude. I'm so bad. The blue checks are at it again. This article is unreadable hate. This is truly the kind of razor-sharp analysis only $8 can provide. Inexpensive it may be at $8, the verity of authentication is unquestionable. One cannot discount the value of provocation to stir the dormant minds ensnared in the labyrinth of their own basement-dwelling existence. I'd willingly part with $200 knowing the chord it strikes. Damn, that sucks. You really yanked that off the shelf trying to make a tweet seem really, really smart. No, you're just embarrassed because you got the blue check mark and it symbolizes that, yeah, you are paying to look official. My unproven personnel theory explaining the Cambrian explosion is the development of the eye. Once the eye is developed, a processing arms race begins, whereby animals compete to better process and draw conclusions from the light entering the eye, as well as better and more capable eyes. Okay, but shouldn't your theory produce some falsifiable hypothesis? If it does, what are they? It's up to the theorist to take a stab at some of the falsifiable hypotheses that might follow from the postulated theory. Otherwise, it just sounds like you're saying, what if the Cambrian explosion worked exactly like the GPU/machine learning market has? I'm not suggesting that you're saying something so, is it facile? Doesn't matter. Just that your musings need more meat on their bones before earning a collective promotion to theory status. Theory status? There's no such thing as a status, dude. A theory is a theory. I have a theory that you're a dork. That hit theory status. Check that out, dude. I possess a quality that allows me to have both internal monologues and I can create an entire universe in my head and play out an entire story in short bursts of time using images and/or energy. But then there are people who cannot hear themselves think. Fascinating. You want to be interesting so bad. Vision's not too good, though. Those are words right there. Here's an educational meme I made. Hard to swallow pills. The average car does 17,000 times more damage than a cyclist, hence the minimal registration fees. Cyclers are safer riding on the street. Bike lanes help make roads safe for all. I have an IQ of 154, so use your words. Thank you. Okay, she's the kind of person whom if I explain the matter/energy equivalency proof, she would be like, I think most people would. Mainly because it's just you trying to be an asshole, trying to prove you're the smartest in the room while sounding like the dumbest. Not because we don't really know much about what the hell you're talking about. Even though I don't, I will admit. Oh no, this 18-wheeler's about to hit my car. Allow me to just gently nudge it out of the way with my body. 16-wheeler. Those triaxles on trailers are singles, not dualies. If they were dualies, it'd be a 22-wheeler. Facts. Edit. Then again, I'm not sure what the semi has for its own rear axle. That's not the point! Apparently, spending time on trick shots is only for the small-brained. Way too much time on their hands. Only a mere 35 hours for that card trick. You could see how happy he was when it finally worked. The stupidity and lack of mental complexity it takes to be excited by things like this is kind of annoying. You're kind of annoying. Go back to talking to no one, please.
Only high IQ people understand Black Mirror.
These episodes have gotten progressively dumber as the seasons have gone by. Brooker has become lazy, cliche, and predictable. A trashy woman with low self-esteem gets fired by her assistant.
Yeah, really believable.
The first thing you learn in film school is to create a suspension of belief for the viewer to be drawn in. Brooker has shown he's completely unable to draw viewers in except for those with the lowest IQ few. So yeah, I'm not watching. No way! The backrooms aren't real? This genuinely captured the feeling of the backrooms. The lighting, camera movement, and sound effects were spot on.
For real.
Dude, it's an art thing that someone made. No, God, this guy. No one here besides maybe 2 or 5-year-olds actually think this is real.
I think everyone knows this is fake, Mr. Sherlock. But I like the guy right beneath that comment who said it a little more succinctly. Jackass. Vocabulary Man, my least favorite superhero, uses armchair philosophy. Or maybe he's smart, but has ego and therefore resorts to unusual grammar for normies. I occasionally indulge in such vocabulary. Makes me feel better than people. That's always a good feeling, isn't it? Also, having ego is not objectively bad nor good. Reality is based on perception. Sad how everyone criticizes others for no reason, as that person gave constructive criticism. Why insult, bash, and make fun of that person? Is it perhaps because you're empty inside, and thus resort to taking it out on others? I sometimes do that too. I'm guilty as charged.
charged. Good day, New Year's.
Well, he ended that a little positively. I'm surprised at how positive that ended, actually. Atheist remarks about how much smarter of an atheist he is than everyone else.
I feel like there's two types of atheists. One, group one are people who have come to the conclusion that a personal God is an absurd idea. They come from all walks of life, but I like to think that they're very intelligent and examine the world around them, and are able to appreciate the beauty of the universe knowing there's no God. They don't hate religion and see it more as a cultural thing. Two, group two are people who had a religious family member and they have several personal issues or trauma because their grandma was a dick who made them go to church on Sundays. They're bitter and vengeful. Most of you guys are group two. Just doing a head count. Yeah, you guys are group two. I'm definitely group one because I'm better. I'm better than you.
Letterboxd review of bottoms. Please read charitably if at all. The representative alliance with football, boxing, wrestling should be examined if continues to exclude many, represented by one of the same people it normally excludes. Have we stigmatized Fight Club for nothing? I don't think it can be emphasized enough that a certain form of queer phobia directed towards people of a certain genital status, and this is my personal, visceral, possibly unfair reaction to what I intuitively feel to be a horrifying failure of representation, committed by people who, to be fair, are young, green, justifiably indignant. Basically, I am learning, as we all are. Please don't read my reviews if they offend you. Handful of followers. Oh, handful of followers, God.
I just want to have an outlet for my thoughts and outlawing the public expression for myself, even or maybe especially when not directed toward a certain end, feels intuitively wrong because it is. Takes the form of people of another genital status airing, and truly I want to swim away from doing this myself, their legitimate grievances based partially in domestic violence committed very clearly by the phalluses.
Did you just call them the phalluses?
Without concern for the social survival of those who may find themselves captured in an incredibly vague, underdeveloped representation, the internalization of which would inevitably harm social survival, hoping to pick up some Butler soon, for the represented, but then again, may and seems to aid the social survival of the representers, and in some sense, that is just what comedy is, the to varying degrees careful selection of an in-group which can realistically meet its own needs, and this part is most crucial to remember in my opinion, expand and improve its eyesight/nurturing capacity once it's gathered strength, and comedy representing adolescence, a period of blunt emotions and behaviors, may simply need to be blunt in its logic and gestures. One might think, and then one rewatches fucking Cocaine Bear, haha, and just, we can do better, lol. Greta Gerwig and Tina Fey have, and I admire them deeply for that, among others. Maybe less charitably, this film, there is something deeply troubling going on, in my view, with the late 20s, 30s something art adjacent, though it's often difficult to understand what exactly the art is. What word is, this is the second time I've seen this word. Milieu resonating to the completely unapologetic fascism of works like Red Scare, read Crumpstack if interested. In conclusion, maturity is desirable.
You could have just had those last three words and had that be your review. We didn't need all that. We didn't need you to lay it on so thick and have all that extra wordiness. God, this subreddit makes me so mean. I feel like I just get so mean and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be. Atheism is an inherently right-wing religion. If you actually cared about or understood historical materialism, you'd understand that it demands agnosticism on the subject of metaphysical considerations. They fucked up their first sentence. Atheism's not a religion. Point invalid. Womp womp. In other news, discussing comic books is on the same level as going to law school / being a lawyer. Also, your argument and debate skills are shitty, and you honestly should be ashamed of the fact that you somehow got through law school with that level of skill. Spamming panels over engaging in thoughtful conversation and using them to actually back up a point, refusing to listen to what others are saying, and deliberately refusing to read the room and understand that making people uncomfortable to the point that they disengage from the conversation isn't the same as making a valid point are all exceptionally awful behaviors to have as a lawyer. Just saying, maybe you should reconsider being a lawyer, pal. Still a 2D rotation, even if it's in 3D space. Finally, I have the vocabulary to express why I was angry at this explanation. My mom, it's easy, just remember righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. 12-year-old me, you cannot precisely specify a 3-dimensional rotation within a 2-dimensional vector. Mother unit. That's not even really a 2D vector. Right and left are just positive or negative directions along a single dimension. Yeah, I'm a dummy and I thought the same thing. Also, what makes the rotation 3-dimensional? Would rotating a flat circle not be a 2-dimensional rotation? The only intelligent, high IQ way is to ignore the silly Homo sapiens. I can't stress this out. I'm full of hatred. Okay, it's simple. With people, there's always bad experiences to happen. It's the law of nature and the universe. People suck. I don't get pleasure from just being in presence of people
people, so the high IQ move here is just avoid people in general. There are exceptions, of course, but these are more in the lines of respectful people, high IQ humans who get it. I can't even people today. And there's the people who just can't accept a person just likes being alone. I'm sorry that I don't have my primal senses of socialization as tuned as you do. I'm good though, so go away, lol. People want my company as if I was their toy to satisfy their caveman social needs. Clowns. That's them. Literally happens in almost every social group. It's so disgusting how this is done with no rationalization. It's the purest form of coping. Coping with the fact that the only person you carry around anywhere is yourself. I don't know if humanity will ever accept the fact that an individual is individual. You're alone and have to cope about it to deny reality. Weak. People like to think that there's a way to rationalize social interactions beyond manipulation. There isn't. I've reached a point where I've developed sociopathic behavior, sometimes on purpose, in order to survive society, because I'm about to lose it and my sanity is falling or failing. I didn't see the eye there. I'm winning life. Yeah, like Charlie Sheen was winning. I'm winning too. I speak 4 languages to your 1, and more intellectual commentary.
I speak 4 languages to your 1. And no, when you attach the adverb incredibly, it makes the case of whatever you're describing more extreme. And unlike you, I took both in my university class. Now, anyway, correcting the rest of your grammar, rare and uncommon are 2 different things. Uncommon means it's not the majority of where you're describing, but you'll still see some of it. Rare means you barely ever see it. And again, I actually lived here. You do not. I see people with blue eyes all the time. Also, 8 to 10% a global statistic. Even Greece is already twice that in Northern Europe. 8 times that. Anyway, blue eyes aren't incredibly rare in the Bahamas. None of this is racist. Stop victimizing yourself. You don't like black people, just say it. Where did the rest of this come from? What? Okay, I didn't understand where that came from, so I had to find the context. That whole reply was in response to just a woman being, I guess, nasty. I didn't get to see what the parent comment was that they were responding to, but I did see them reply to their name being blurred in the Iamverysmart subreddit. All those qualifications just say it's probably ghosts and that you shouldn't see a psychiatrist. Are you a PhD with reputable degrees and experience who's worked in mental health for over several decades? It would be hilarious for you to see my resume. At any rate, hope you feel more confident later on when you've established yourself. Yes, my relationships have been unfortunate, but yet have made me a better practitioner. If you think your education's going to help you with relationships, you're likely to be disappointed. Multiple post-grad Ivy League degrees, psychology and related, actually studied under the author of the grad-level neuropsychology professor who basically wrote the text everyone at a demanding school used. Grants personally received. As a result, offered entry into the same PhD program, went on to PhD at top 10 school, 3 decades of clinical experience, inpatient and out. Regardless, you'll find a way to feel superior. It's the new way. We navigate the vast universe of knowing everything without actually knowing anything. And that's the beauty of it. We don't need to, right? Or are we going to be like annoying about it? Oh, bravo to those self-proclaimed open-minded intellectuals. Oh, we're going to be annoying about it. Their minds are so open, they could double as a gateway to another dimension. Clearly, the epitome of enlightenment is regurgitating the same ideas in a slightly fancier font. Keep up the groundbreaking work, oh wise sages of recycled wisdom. Absolutely, because acknowledging the vast expanse of our ignorance is the first step to enlightenment. Let's embark on a thrilling journey of critical thinking, challenging not just our own assumptions, but also graciously dissecting the profound insights of others. After all, who needs to know everything when you can just pretend, right? Ignorance is bliss, is it not? A comment about the newest South Park special. This was an absolutely amazing South Park episode. That's because they're very good at setting up many differing levels of story so that the uneducated ones will still enjoy it, even if they don't understand the context. This episode dove deep into the negative parallels of neoliberal communism and the current politosphere, which basically made fun of your entire lifestyle. You probably thought it was about YouTube influencers in Prime, though. It's not lost on me that their profile picture is Garrison as Trump. Can't sleep again. When it's 4 a.m. and you can't fall back to sleep because you're contemplating if the speed of light took 0 time one way and twice as long than other to travel, would it be undetected due to
time dilation and space contraction? And what would that mean for casualty of light traveling from the edge of the universe if going on the infinite direction? Some questions will never be answered.
This short was a scientist explaining the double slit experiment and how the smaller the particle size, the more bands you get out of just 2 slits. The craziest part isn't even mentioned. It switches back to 2 bands when you look at it. Exactly. Manifest reality. Now let's talk about the concept of scientific law and presumptive objectivity based on who subjectively interprets data, or the possibility it makes a difference just because a group believes they're perceiving the same thing. Let's talk about that. On a post announcing that Oppenheimer won an award, people saying Barbie should have won is only because their small minds couldn't grasp the whole concept of Oppenheimer. It was too much for them to process, and they probably walked out after 25 minutes. Unfortunately, they probably had low IQ or short attention spans, because I'm literally Oppenheimer and I understood the gravity of it. Oh yes, people saying Coke should have been adjudged the superior cola lack the cognitive faculties to fully comprehend the superlative flavor of Pepsi. But if you rearrange the letters, it spells sip P. Very true. And Coke is like Kane. I mean, if that doesn't change your mind, are you even human? They bring up a good point. They bring up a very good point. One that I think you should look into. High IQ equals better than everyone else. It's just simple math. On the MBTI spectrum, boo! INTPs have higher IQs compared to the rest. Therefore, to answer your question, yes, we are better than everyone else. Let them learn to deal with it. Who upvoted that? Who were the 2 upvotes? It was on a post asking why INTPs think they're better. No wonder why, ignore MBTI cringe, INTPs suck at life. No, they suck the life out of everything else because they're being mean. When your house is so cold it feels like the cold is pouring in, but you know thermodynamics and the heat is actually flowing out at a high rate of speed. God, you just make it not fun. Why are you making it not fun? You're just sucking the joy out of life, man. Cold is the same as heat, but at a different temperature. Yeah, it's more blue and less red too. That's what I saw. That's what I noticed. According to this smartass, people celebrating sports victories are comparable to animals. Argentina winning felt like a victory for all of humanity. Tens of thousands of people crying from happiness. Olympics who? When you see people celebrating football victory like this, like animals, it's kind of sad. You ask yourself, where have we gone wrong as humanity? After all, it's 22 guys shooting the ball. WTF? Yeah, use that logic with everything in life and nothing will make sense. We understand that you don't like, and I'm assuming they're just dunking on him for being a sad sap and sucking the joy out of this guy's day. Enlightened doomer is enlightened. Oh, we're gonna get some wisdom from the doomer. I seriously can't understand how people wake up every day and are able to just go about their days as if everything's fine. This leads me to believe 99.9% of the world is incredibly stupid and or lower forms of consciousness physically unable to comprehend reality as it is. I'm going back to bed. Oh no, another one. The world will soon plunge into turmoil as 2024 will wreak havoc upon the earth. I'll let out an evil cackle. As heating intensifies at an accelerated pace, and all the people that ignored me about climate change, shunned me, put me down, and joked, they will pay the ultimate price. Listening to classical music while studying. If you see me listening to a ton of classical music, it's cause I'm studying. It helps, to be honest, but maybe others don't get it. I'm on a studying spree right now, so ignore all the classic music. Piano Concerto number 2 in C minor. Op 18. I'm Moderato by Sergei Rachmaninoff is a banger though. Really underrated. I love comments that bring nothing new, only to sound superior, but the water's moving. Depends on the perspective. Even in physics, but yeah, from a space/ISS or just 100 miles distant place on Earth away, it's clear the water's still, but the crust is moving. And in the end, every system moves, and the reason for often weird so-called fictitious forces in physics, like the centrifugal force or Coriolis effect. I don't know if I said that right. A lot of these words are gonna miss me because I'm not one of these big-time smart guys here. Relative to the land, the water is moving side to side. Just like when you hold a bowl of water and start moving suddenly, the water will slosh back and forth and continue even after you stop. Also, it's possible this video was taken after the earthquake had stopped. The water moves because the walls of the bowl move into it. I love comments that bring nothing new, only to sound superior. So we agree the water's moving. Yes? Cope more. I have a master's degree and know what I'm talking about. Redditor's trying to contemplate how vast and empty most of the US outside the coasts are than trying to understand property ownership and development with international building codes will never not be funny. Edit. +10 to -6. I'm not wrong. Cope more. I have a master's degree and know what I'm talking about. Good day to you. I've got a master's and PhD and I don't know what he's trying to say. I guess maybe higher degrees cancel each other out? Well, I dropped out of school in 8th grade and I understand him completely. Maybe your degrees don't mean anything. And I spit on them. This guy and his eloquent music taste. It's simply a matter of IQ. Our society peaked and is now in decline. Complex musical structure with multiple instruments and frequent changes in keys and rhythm require a degree of intellect that most people today lack. Their attention span is thus too short to listen to a full 44 minutes of an album, let alone a 7 or 8 minute song. This is not a bad thing. There are still great musicians out there, and now I get to see them seated in a venue of less than 1,000 people. Tickets for some of the best acts are typically between $30 to $40. That is $8 in 1979 money, and that's what I paid to see Kansas in 1979. Ticket prices are cheap. Seating is always available, and you don't need to worry about being crushed to death. I paid $40 or less to see Greta Van Fleet in 2019, Samantha Fish in 2021, and Daniel Nicole just a few weeks ago. I want to see Larkin Poe and Kingfish Ingram. I'll bet even you don't know who these people are, perhaps with the exception of GVF. How about Starcrawler? I just saw them at the Troubadour. That place only seats about 600. Very intimate concert venue. Tickets were $18. Guffaw! Teabagging with their intellectual superiority. You're the one who sounds like they're crying, lol. No, I just want to debate against y'all. What I'm doing now is called teabagging. Ever heard of it? Yeah, it's where I flaunt my sense of intellectual superiority by demeaning you because despite the fact I won in good faith, I don't respect, no, I don't know what that is, it's censored. We can only assume what he said, or anyone who defends them at all. So no, I'm calling you an idiot over and over again, not because I'm coping, but because it's a genuine reflection of my beliefs about you people, and I get off to it. It's a sexual thing for me. Not recommended. 138 hours at the review time. The novelty of the experience has dissipated, and the enjoyment in engaging with this game has waned. I have acquired a comprehensive understanding of the simulation, if one could generously term it as such. Frankly, this game appears to be a substantial misrepresentation even in light of recent updates. Upon reviewing the weekly developer videos, one is left to ponder whether they were addressing an entirely different game. It's strange credulity that any of the developers have successfully managed a city exceeding 100k in population. Below I enumerate a series of grievances. Cargo possesses the ability to teleport indiscriminately from one location to another, obviating the necessity for any form of vehicular transport. Absence of toggleable zoning on roads, a manifestation I classify as a bug. The statistics panel/menu displays only half of the chart. Canines are inexplicably abandoned when a simulated entity utilizes public transportation to a destination beyond the city limits. Frequent crashes to the desktop occurring approximately every 3 hours. Influxes of taxis originating from external locales converging on an arbitrary point, idling and subsequently departing the city via ostensibly the most inconvenient route, characterized by its protracted duration or sluggish pace. Occasional inexplicable surges in the waiting on a hearse phenomenon without ... Feels like he wrote his review and then told an AI to rewrite it with bigger words. I wonder how common that is now for people who want to sound smarter just asking for AI to make their comments verbose. I feel like that's way more common than anyone might realize now. That's the true AI purpose. I hate testing on animals just as much as everyone else, but that just sounds unlikely that it happened. I once gave a speech in high school about how we could use these types of criminals in place of animals for product testing, appease PETA and get more accurate results, and send a clear message to criminals. I got a standing ovation. Oh yeah, then why aren't we doing it, huh? Why aren't we doing it then, huh? Huh, big guy? Huh, tough guy? I think anyone who says, huh, is a mouth-breathing, bottom-feeding Neanderthal. There are so many ways to articulate your confusion in an intelligent and dignified manner in a conversation with someone or when faced with a puzzling situation. Could you repeat that for me? Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Why is this happening? And can you tell me why you're doing that? Even what? And are
fine because the former is confrontational and the latter sounds dismissive and uncaring. But if someone says, huh, not only do they sound confrontational and uncaring, they also sound like a fucking idiot. Nothing is communicated when someone says, huh. There's no good way to say, huh. The way, huh, is pronounced is guaranteed to make you sound like a drooling caveman. Even if you're utterly baffled by someone or something else's dumbassery, please don't stoop to their level by going, huh, what? You'll just make everything worse.
Not even true. Only use I could think of is for child-proofing cabinets, honestly. I mean, depends on how crafty your children are. I disassembled and reassembled the family microwave when I was 3. Okay, Jimmy Neutron. I'm sure I wasn't the only toddler too clever. This kid handled a magnetron in a microwave. He handled the capacitor. How did he discharge it? Did this kid discharge the capacitor? John Oliver isn't funny. He just curses and yells with a British accent. I see your perspective, but it's kind of cathartic to hear some dude go, what the f***, at an awful systematic issue on television. Oh, I don't watch TV for current events. I get actual real information. God, these people are annoying. How do you live life like this and be so annoying?
You're right. I don't get the joke. It's not even funny. Explain the joke to me like I'm 5, because to me, it's just like some kind of painful to watch psychological situation where someone with less emotional intelligence attempts to ridicule or belittle someone's more intelligent achievements to make themselves feel better. You can just say, and leave it at, you don't get it. You don't have to play the I'm smarter than you game. Trust me, we know you're a genius. This is going to be beyond some people's spatial reasoning capabilities, but I'm not even talking down to them. You literally are. You actually are. The world needs brains that specialize in different things, and some that are just satisfied doing simpler stuff. We've evolved to coexist as a variety of functions in harmony. So don't get frustrated if this isn't adding up to you, because the world needs you for other things. No, I'm not talking down to anybody, but all of you stupid people should be happy being stupid. I mean, I'm pretty frickin' dumb and I'm happy being dumb, but that's beside the point. The fact that you think that someone is stupid and will remain that way and there's no way for them to get out of it, because I know that's what you're talking about. The dumb people got to do the jobs that are below the smart people like you, and they're supposed to stay there forever, because you're smart. On a post about take-home tasks for job interviews. Wait, what? I value my time and effort more than most of the people on this planet. I mean, of course you do. We don't give a shit about your time and effort, and you don't care about any of ours. Why not spend that time working for nonprofit or open source? Bro, think about that. So you're okay with spending 20 hours on an open source project that provides you no benefit, but not 20 hours on a project so solidify a job opportunity? That's it. I'm logging off this site. Pretty sure I'm smarter and more successful than literally everyone on this post right now, so no point in arguing with you people. Yeah, you just get that out of the way now. Just get it out of the way that you're gonna hide and run. That's it. Thanks for reminding me how pointless it is to try and speak sense into any internet community. I guess, dude. I mean, you're right about that, but God. I'm in Philly, and a lot of people are wearing Eagles jerseys, and maybe I'm a curmudgeon, but the idea of publicly wearing a jersey and orienting your whole day around getting excited about a game where people run into each other with helmets is vaguely annoying. Sorry, there are long pauses here because I'm trying to wrap my head around how you can be such an arrogant prick. I'm not a sports guy either. I really don't care. I don't. But Jesus, dude, shut up. Just shut the f*** up, dude. Seriously, no one cares, okay? The only thing that you should complain about is, football fans turning over cars while people are still inside and destroying property and freaking the f*** out because their team won or lost. Won or lost, not lost. As if that is an excuse of any kind. I don't know. If I wanted to feel better, my 164 IQ, multiple degrees earned by age 16, wrong, presidential awards of academic excellence, 3 college grants, perfect GED scores paid for by the Army due to my 88 ASVABs, consisting of 121, 122, and 123 in all line scores from medicine to engineering, work as an engineer, programmer, therapist, math teacher, enrollment. What the hell, dude? What? Literally none of this can be true, right? Okay, some of it can be. Obviously, some of it can be true, but there's no way in hell you're like the most academically accomplished motherfucker on the planet. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry about all the cursing to the editor here, but you people are insane. What about you? Have all of your achievements combined outshone one self-educated guy who was homeless until age 19 in just a single field? If you're twice as smart as average, then no, they never will. Go seek approval from a valley girl. You'll find none here. I'm sorry. I, myself, along with I'm sure a good few other people, don't need the approval of a compulsive liar. Because that's the vibe I'm getting from you here. What else have you done? Were you one of the guys that walked on the moon? Low IQs simply fail to understand how the world works. Their jobs are easily replaceable, which makes them more expendable for the government. Most of the prison burden is concentrated in the lower IQ segment of the population due to their inability to appreciate the long-term consequences of their actions. Okay. They have far fewer abilities and skills that can be usefully contributed to the community. They simply lack the cognitive ability to be responsible citizens, and I'm very glad that I'm not one of them. They're just like livestock, but without the return on investment. Ingrate parasites. You are probably one of the most arrogant people I have ever seen in my life. I don't care if it's a copy pasta or bait or whatever. I'm sorry. That can't just be a goddamn excuse all the time. This is the single most big-headed, arrogant POS I've ever read a message from. Yeah, pretty much everyone in prison is just livestock, piece of shit parasites. I'm better than all of them, and they're completely useless to society. Logan Paul publishes his detailed findings on the nature of the universe. I figured out the universe. Let's see. Infinity as a concept doesn't exist in the natural universe. Okay. Sphere/circle equals God shape, celestial bodies. Okay. Universe is likely finite. 3 contained, 3 spherical? Time infinite? Well, time seems to be a construct, so why would it have a point where it stops? What are you talking about? Eventually, all stars will die equals no more light. Yes, the universe will die someday. If the universe is contained, has an end, can we assume apple in a box theory? I don't know what that word is. Something recurrence? When everything is dead and dust becomes a dense collection of matter, B gravity, black holes everywhere. Universe essentially collapses in on itself. Big Bang, universe repeats, life is cyclical. We become the apple again, okay? Nothing matters except the time we have now and each other. Dude, duh. Are you thinking that you're some mega genius because you have regurgitated what is this? Astronomy 101? Physics 101? What is this, man? What is this? This is just, did you smoke and sit around a campfire? Because I think you did that. I think that's exactly what happened here. Just admit it. That's totally fine. You went on a vision quest and woke up with a bunch of dumb notes. Or you watched some EmKay videos. I don't know. You're a genius, man. In an NHL stream chat room, clearly better than all us peasants. Don't speak slang, jargon, or American English, I have standards. I mean, there's only like a couple of words I can think of where you'll be like, oh, it's American English, but I'm sure you'll notice. I'm not saying I'm particularly special, I'm just saying that the rest of you aren't. I feel like I'm 10 to 15 years ahead of my peers. When I was 5, I was thinking about high school. When I was 10, I was confused as to why I couldn't start college given I'd finished most prereqs when I was 15. Oh, I see how he split it up. When I was 15, I got a simple office job and outperformed adults with master's degrees. No, you did not. At 20, I landed a 6-figure job, had already invested a decent amount in the stock market, okay, and had set up a retirement account since 18. It continues like this for 10 years or so. I've always felt like my peers are blah blah blah, I'm an arrogant piece of crap, you're all beneath me, I'm awesome. That's basically the gist of most of these, but that one was reeking, dude. I have an IQ of 298. No, the literal you don't. No, you do not. That is so obviously a freaking lie. Oh my god, it hurts. It feels like a stupid bait comment or something made by a child, but I'm pretty sure a simple Google will show you that the highest IQ that we've allegedly ever recorded was 228. And you're saying not only did you beat that, but you beat it by that much? Okay, my IQ isn't even 150, but it's still nevertheless sufficient to instantly peg you as an insecure, underachieving who significantly overestimates his own cleverness as an internet troll. There you go. We didn't need you to... No, you know what, Jose? You know what? You're right. Nothing wrong. You rock. My friend's WhatsApp profile picture. Simple chess strategy? Okay, that's pretty cool. Someone just wanted to ask about a damn face mask. When and how to use/apply mask. What is lotion for? Is that for face 2? I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, merely a humble neuroscientist with a PhD in astrophysics? I majored in... No, is that a fucking question? No, I'm being for real. Are you asking if you are a humble neuroscientist with a PhD in astrophysics? Are you asking? I fucking hate that. I majored in astrology. You majored in astrology? Okay, what? Did you mean astronomy? But went on to get my degree in numerology. Moreover, that is beside my gratuitous point. I've never seen the word gratuitous. Is that a word? In my understanding, you use a mask pro Renata as needed. Just say as needed, douche nozzle. Not every day/night like moisturizer. I generally pick a time when I'm going to have a child-free or sleeping house. Run a bath and relax, blah, blah, blah. You night to wash your face first, not... Okay, wow, you're so smart, but you can't type. It's all about the little things. That's where the best parts of life are holding and condensed into... God, you're insufferable people. OP's comment on his own photo submission of a personalized license plate. Oh, the decadence and vanity. Oh, the decadence and vanity that some are wont to exhibit. Lo, I have borne witness to a most absurd and perplexing sight, one that surely must raise the eyebrows of even the most frivolous and vain amongst us. Behold, a horseless carriage adorned with a license plate of most wanton and lascivious nature? Jeez. Bearing upon its face an inscription most vulgar and risque. To think that a creature so noble as the horse, whose beauty and grace is a wonder to behold, should be so debased and degraded by the likes of human vanity. Surely this vanity plate serves as a testament to the moral and intellectual decay of our society, where the pursuit of material pleasures and carnal desires reigns supreme. Alas, that we should stoop to such depths of depravity and moral turpitude, where even our modes of transportation are made to bear the mark of our base desires and indulgences. May the sight of such vanity serve as a sobering reminder of the corrupt and degenerate nature of humanity, and may we strive to rise above the base and vulgar impulses that threaten to engulf us in a mire of moral decay. Holy crap, put down the thesaurus and shut up. Please, I'm begging you on my knees. Did all build a boat player became engineer after playing this game? Mechanics are pretty easy and understandable if you have a 115 to 140 IQ. Okay, what does that even mean? You have expressed a desire for me to demonstrate your incompetence in matters of the past. With my simple question, I demonstrate your incompetence. Can you tell, please, on what particular day does your calendar begin? What exactly event happened on the first day of your calendar? What event happened on the first day of my calendar? The first day of the month. Please continue to show your incomprehension for a clear demonstration of your not only incompetence in matters of history, but also simply written text in English. This should be good for a laugh. You can also give a direct answer to my simple question about the starting point of your calendar if you know the answer. You can also admit your incompetence in the matter, explicitly admit that you have no idea about basic of past and history. Oh my god, I'm with that guy. I could never get into the Harry Potter books as a kid, but that's because I was a bibliophile. When you read more than just what's assigned in school, you have frames of reference and can easily see how mid that series is. For years, I was told it was poor taste to talk down about that fandom, but clearly not enough people were ragging on it. They're children's books, Chill out. Seriously. Also, did you really call yourself a bibliophile because you didn't just read what was required of you in school? Oh, I read like an extra book this year. Nah, if you ain't reading 5,000 books a week, you can't call yourself a bibliophile. Delete this post. What's the point? What's the point of anything? What a great question. One that certainly can't be answered within a Reddit post. Sure it can. Just take an extra 5 seconds to type it out. If your point here is to be witty, let me refute it. There certainly is a point to posting on subs like Crusader Kings, although what that point is, I'm not certain. But I do know that generally I'm sorry. No, I'm good. Facebook philosophy. All right, what do they say here? Dear Absolutist, please know that we all don't have the same extreme either-or, cut and dry, black and white view of the world as you do. It makes conversations with you nearly impossible when you assume this to be true about everyone. Amen. Yet at the same time, I believe there are no shades of gray, but instead specks of black and white, very close together. You sound so goddamn stupid. Zoom in far enough on the dither, and you may be able to pick it apart and come up with more, or with a more, optimal reality. What? Among the implications of this paradigm, I know it's paradigm, I'm trying to be funny, is that one should not reflexively condemn one construct because it contains more than 50% bad, or fully accept another that's mostly good. Instead, lucidly examine the good and bad at each. Hold paradox, sit with cognitive dissonance, cultivate compassion, and try to formulate a more perfect synthesis. What are you taught? You people don't make any sense. I've got a sneaky suspicion that half of this stuff is just going to be crappy AI garbage in like a year. Kinda sounds like he peaked at 16 though. I studied quantum mechanics when I was 12 years old, proved Fermat's last theorem when I was 16, and developed an engine that violates the second law of thermodynamics. No, you freaking didn't. I have an IQ of 185 and am bothered by that statement. My training in psychology, sociology, and psychiatry informs me that those with an IQ of under 50 are not bothered by the statement. Of course they wouldn't be. Writing nonsensical equations in a public setting to humble brag. Snapchat memories reminding me of what a nerd I am. Throwback to when I'd bring my homework with me to the gym and my clients thought that it was our workout for the day, not homework. Who in their right mind would look at that and think that's whatever. I'm a research scientist, so by nature and training, I question. It was even this way when I was 8 and my parents enrolled me in church religious classes. I questioned and found the logical and evidentiary answer allows me to understand the need an afterlife fills. However, I do not have a need for it. The only difference I can make is in the life I live now. So many of these people are regurgitating what Gandalf said in the Fellowship of the Ring. Okay, you've heard the quote, you know which quote I'm talking about. All we have to do is decide what to do with the time that is given to us. I know I butchered it and that's not the whole quote, but basically these people watched The Lord of the Rings and went, what if I reworked that quote and pretended that I made it? It's mine. Even though, yes, Gandalf was not the one who invented the quote and it's been around a long time, but nonetheless, I know that's where they got it. To the girl who called me a loser and said I was trying to show off because I said you should read Tolstoy's epic War and Peace, I wasn't aware that reading something was suddenly a huge achievement. The fact that I wanted you to read it meant that I believed you were the rare type of woman who could endure such a lengthy piece of literature. You can call it boring. The irony is that later in another thread, I saw you talking about how you read all the Harry Potter books before you turned 12. It's plainly obvious to see that you view the arts in the most superficial way possible. There's no way I would ever date someone like that. To all the other girls who haven't responded or have been a bit timid in their replies, please don't take this post the wrong way. As you can see, I didn't tag any of the women who wronged me on this post. Oh, cry harder. Yet another person that says, oh, you read a children's series when you were a child? Loser, idiot. Maybe you should read one of the most dull books of all time. Original question was, what degrees are useless? Second person brags about their MBA, cringe enough, while failing to realize everyone is talking about undergrad degrees. Let's see. Business degrees. There's such an overabundance of business degrees that they're basically treated as general ed degrees. Man, I really screwed up getting my MBA. Better take some of my money and wipe my tears with my 140% increase in income since I got it. 140%? Right then. My unmatched I cannot read that word. What is that word? Perspicacity? Coupled with sheer... No, I'm sorry, dude. You're a thesaurus. You're a thesaurus boy. And yes, I know it's pronounced thesaurus. Shut up. I'm trying to be fun here. I'm trying to have fun. These people suck. This is so true, though. Honestly, a genius doesn't need to have school or be mentally stable. This clip, albeit funny, isn't the way the world works. Let me just say this is a bit personal to me. Yeah, but do you like apples? Dude uses hydrostatic equilibrium to remember miles versus kilometers. The way I remember the kilometer is shorter is by remembering 250 miles is about the size of the smallest object in our solar system. With hydrostatic equilibrium, this is about 400 kilometers. It's a very simple way to remember. I can see this makes some people laugh, but I've read so many astronomy books over the years and never go to countries that use the kilometer. It works for me. Okay. Someone posted a comment saying that a subscription was expensive, and this was the genius response. Money is an intangible concept. What? Acquisition of paper and wealth depends heavily upon one's set of circumstances. For instance, I like to eat ramen every week. A family living 5 miles away may struggle to afford Olive Garden once a month. My circumstances allow me to afford a thing with greater quality at a greater frequency because my circumstances allow me access to more of this intangible concept, money, and relative wealth. All that to say, if these people can afford it, the cost may not actually be insane. Don't be mad because they doing them better than you doing you. You could have just left it at that last stupid sentence. The rest of it was so pointless. Drew can do no wrong. She's a queen. Spoken like a true narcissist. Extremely intelligent men see right through you. Now you ain't seeing through shit. Dude, I'm sorry, you ain't. Intellectual explains why being rude back to him is bad. No, seriously. Now I understand not everyone agrees with some of my positions, and that's fine. I feel they promote discussion and encourage people to get their thoughts and opinions in order so they can convey their message, okay? I know I sometimes hit a nerve, maybe where those teeth are missing. If I include a dollop of sarcasm or a soupcon of irony, and perhaps I should learn to be more circumspect. This isn't making any sense. But it's all good. A problem arises when some revert to the vernacular and employ more colorful colloquialisms to disparage me and my ancestry, not to mention some condemnation of my supposed sexual proclivities. Wow. What these purveyors of the profane don't seem to understand. Purveyors of the profane is a sick band name, by the way. Someone needs to take that. Purveyors of the profane don't seem to understand is a stream of invective doesn't bolster an argument, it debases it. Those expletives only highlight one's inability to communicate, and vituperation without context is silly-dilly. You're doing all this crap, all this thesaurus garbage to make yourself sound smarter, and you're finishing off with silly-dilly? So please, before you lapse into the lingua franca that so comforts you, please consider words can be harmful, especially misspelled ones, and I'm a fragile soul. Yeah, we can tell. Women can't logic, according to this guy. At least, that's what I got from this word salad. Questioning a man's logic and credibility is a way of women essentially brings a man down to her level of absurdity. There comes a line of questioning so invasive, is it interrogative, interrogative, and so unreasonable that a man, feeling like he is on the defense, will yield his logic to his sense of frustration. And then the woman who deliberately and calculatingly imposed this form of mental tyranny in her sense of outrage will then use this frustration as a weapon against the man to further reduce his credibility by pointing out quite proudly that he is in fact no more logical than she. Women will hold you to your logic as it forces you to take responsibility for... Oh my god, they're so exhausting. 2+ standard deviations, you say? Why don't you just tell me to seethe, or say I must be fun at parties or some BS? I'm 2+ standard deviations smarter than literally everyone who has responded to my post, so you're not gonna get me on a technicality. Sorry about that. Okay, I am too smart to date. I've been told a few times that I'm too intelligent to date, some qualifying it as scary intelligent. I don't know about that. Okay, sure, no, okay. I think the worst part is a lot of these people are probably quite smart. More than likely, sure, it wouldn't surprise me. But dude, when your head is the size of a hot air balloon, are you really that smart? It takes 2 master's degrees to understand that putting the $sign after the amount is better. It's called semantic shift. I've done it since a kid and have a dual master's, so clearly I know better. It's funny that all these people with doctorates and 40,000 master's degrees and blah blah blah, savants, prodigies, whatever you want to call them, can't type. They can't. That's it. With a simplified follow-up comment, just in case the regular folk didn't get it. Well said. It occurred to me while watching this. Here's a primer on consciousness and a salute to the transcendent within the mundane told in the matter that condescends to anyone who has made a deliberate effort to engage the presented issues. It's a cure for a disease I don't suffer from. See, and I'm an idiot who can't read. Maybe a more productive way to say this is, the movie was made with a different audience in mind. Yeah, that's much more productive. You didn't need the stupid comment before. Get rid of it. I'm very smart. Only people with high IQ will understand this. Oh my god, he's such a dumbass. Resist the current thing. Omega is the last letter of the Greek alphabet and often used to represent upper bounds in math, the unit of electrical resistance in physics, and the end/completion of a process/series in various fields like engineering, chemistry, and thermodynamics. Right. I have had so many coworkers ask me what I used to study to pass my CCRN. This question makes me so uncomfortable because I have to respond, I didn't study for it. It always comes off so freaking arrogant, no matter how I put it. You're right, because it's probably not true. I've always been a really good test taker, so don't ever let other people's different learning styles and test-taking abilities defeat you. It doesn't make you less intelligent, you just have a different way of learning and retaining information. You are correct. Everybody learns differently. We are all completely different in that regard. But even if you have a photographic memory, you had to have learned this from somewhere. You didn't just know it. Sure, you may not have studied. I know plenty of people that didn't really study or do the homework, but they passed all the tests because they paid attention in class. Don't leave stuff out to make it seem like you just knew this shit forever. On one hand, I know a lot and can talk and discuss constructively about a lot of subjects. Oh, sorry, he didn't say about, he said constructively a lot of subjects. I recognize I'm not perfect and all-knowing, but I do understand that I'm intelligent. I love that. I recognize that I'm not omniscient, but at the same time, I really don't want to sound like some pretentious ass, but I see y'all with your dumb and cringy conversations, and it looks so fun. I don't understand it enough to participate aside from, like, some edgy jokes I do know and understand, but I wish I were able to bond with the average Joe so much easier. If you keep acting like a jack-off, you're never going to be able to do that. The average Joe, just the average Joe is such an arrogant term for people like you. It's so disgusting and rude. Oh man, I'm so smart. I wish I could relate to you fucking stupid people, man. I would love to be able to just enjoy life like you stupid freaking morons and stuff, right? But I can't. Guys, I'm having a heart attack. Can someone call me a journalism major? Oh, well, I guess you know more than her doctor then. Well, yes, because I study journalism and am qualified to research and fact-check claims, and I keep up with new studies and peer-reviewed scientific research. Quick! Where's the journalist? Is there a journalist on this plane? My husband's dying! This guy trying to convince me he's maybe a doctor? I can almost taste the amphetamines in your fingertips as you write these essays about how I can't be this or that and your life is amazing. Can I assume you're not a doctor now that you demonstrated you can't spell amphetamines? Isn't that great? Asked if anyone was a forensics nerd. Let's see here. I'm a forensic science nerd, but most importantly, distinct from being a forensic scientist. That distinction established and reiterating that I'm no expert, my feverish nerdery on this subject has led me to the conclusion that most forensic sciences don't stand up to scrutiny based on legit scientific standards. Okay. And I have a STEM PhD, and I earn 6 figures, and I use the phrase stochastic terrorism. Do I sound smart or am I smart? You sound unbearable, to be perfectly honest. The author is going to utterly demolish us. Or probably not, we're too stupid. When strangers thought I was stupid because of where I grew up, I understood that they were granting me the high ground. I learned to patiently wait in an ambush for the chance to utterly demolish them intellectually. Later, I realized that this particular battle strategy was a waste of energy. It was easier to simply stop talking to that person forever. Yeah, it's not that hard. A 7th grader's review of Harvard Medical School. Okay, I see all these other kids in school saying that they're going to go to medical school when they get older, and this is their dream, or it is their dream. They won't because they're not smart, they're average. They do not excel or have good learning techniques. I'm in the 7th grade, and I am in 10th grade math. Woo! I skipped biology and basic chemistry and physics. I am in every single AP class. I have a 4.0 GPA in the 2 high school classes that I am in, and above a 98.9 in every class. What does this have? What are you reviewing? What? Watch out, guys. He calculates when he talks. You agree that everything I said is correct, right? I mean, yeah. I speak in a very calculated way. I make it subconsciously look like I'm emotionally triggered, which makes it subconsciously look like I'm not being logical, which makes it subconsciously feel like my undeniable facts are debatable, which guarantees my opponent's annihilation when I'm debated against. How not to get laid. You're more than a foot taller than me, sir. Yeah, genetics. I wonder if our kids will get your height or mine. Well, we could use Punnett squares to... Dude. They sent you a message about having kids as like a little winky thing right there, and you jumped into the Punnett square from grade 8? Which picture is similar to the cypress? I'm a map expert and recognized flags and the shape of the border, and all of this was self-taught. Okay. Literally taught from Britannica itself. Son, I've read more than okay, so you're 12, than you've ever read in your life. I literally taught myself to read from the Encyclopedia Britannica. I don't need you to tell me what I do and don't understand in reading comprehension. I know it seems like someone's gonna have to do it for you. That's why I said it's stupid, not racist, because many people believe that's stupid rhetoric. Man, rhetoric is another one of those words I just can't stand. It's starting to get on the same level as woke for me, because it's like agenda. It's just been, what's the term, co-opted, not appropriated. It's just been stolen, I guess, by a certain demographic. And God, those words are so awful. Guy thinks he's a genius after taking an online IQ test. Okay, I have an IQ of 153 according to various reputable online tests, and I have a prodigal mind. I score higher than anyone on the subreddit or the Discord, including you. You could never make it into higher academia. That's why you attend a crappy state school. I'm graduating at 20 from Yale with a major in computer science and minor in finance. And I also make $90K per year as an intern plus $30K in crypto investments. What have you done? People who boast about their IQ are losers, said Stephen Hawking, one of the smartest men ever. And this one's my favorite. Bro, shut the f*** up. Mastered music on their own in 5 years, but grammar is a bridge too far. Is upset that things for learning music is directed at learners? How to deal with the fact that most of music learning content is made by hive mind? So I've been making music for a few years, around 5 I guess, and if I could summary what I seen, it's pathetic low. You see what I'm talking about with how these people type? Most content is targeted toward beginners, or it's just mindless repetition of something someone other said. It sounds cool, so it's true for sure, quote from Mind of Many Redditors. Of course, there are big exceptions, big in context of quality, but there are very few of them, with little help of Reddit. Also, I figured many things by myself. Why'd you italicize that? I'm not sure even what answer I expected, or at least someone can relate, honestly. Me explaining to my neurotypical friends that the experience of deja vu may be indicative of the circularity of time and the incomprehensibility of temporal phenomena, and that the experience is often sidelined because the rupture in our cognition is too terrifying to bear. The personal subject narrative is fragmented so violently that we resist its mystery. Chill out, you're on TikTok. Okay? TikTok is only for smart people in China. Modern ChatGPT degrees are worthless. Robots can never have real intelligence. Look below, I'm top 10%. I'd like to see an AI beat that. Dude, in a room of 1,000 people, you would be smarter than 91 of them. See, when you're in the top 90%, it doesn't mean what you're assuming it means. Look below, I'm top 10%. No. No, you're in the bottom. Oh, no, that's where I belong. That's straight up where I am. I think if I took a real IQ test, if I had to, straight up guess, I would be right on the average. And I don't even know what the actual average is. What is it, 100 to 110? Something like that? I don't know where it is. I could be at 12, for all I know. I call everything UI. I love how everyone calls it score bug, scoreboard, or score graphic, and then there's just me, who as soon as I got into watching football, just mentally went, yeah, so that's the UI. A user's not interfacing with that. If you see a scoreboard on TV, what? And whenever a network comes out with a new one, I'm like, oh cool, new UI debut. Same for touchdowns, I'm like, ah neat, new touchdown UI. This year's Super Bowl is no different. I guess that's just how my quirky brain works. I don't think your quirky brain works at all. Oh, my throat is killing me. You just haven't learned enough about music. Are you sure? Jacob Collier mostly appeals to musically talented types that actually understand the theory he's using. No offense to non-musicians, but you just haven't learned enough about music for what he does normally to be as impressive and cool as it is to people who have taken theory or music. It's not a bad thing at all. But it is a thing, because of what I would assume that maybe 75% of the crowd plays an instrument somewhat well. That doesn't necessarily translate to vocal skills, but it does help a lot. What are you talking about? If they heard someone say ATM machine, their head would explode. I automatically assume that people who say tuna fish are idiots. A startling number of people say things like, I'm in the mood for a tuna fish sandwich, despite the fact that they would never say chicken bird is one of my favorite foods, or I think 80-20 is the best percentage for ground beef mammal. All right? This inconsistency in their manner of speaking is entirely illogical, and the fact that they've never reflected on this enough to recognize it and correct it leads me to assume that they're idiots. No, sometimes there's such a common phrase that we just say it. On the point of ATM machine, though, I stopped saying that. I cut the machine out. The redundancy there is gone, so now I just say the ATM, because that's not really hard. Although, I haven't heard someone say tuna fish in a long time, so I think these things do fade away. Like if I'm getting a tuna sandwich or something like that at, say, Subway, I don't say tuna fish, I say tuna. Thank you. I feel like you're blowing this out of proportion, man. Magnus always looks like he is very lost. Nah, he's just observing. I don't know why, but I think smart people always look like that. My IQ is 200 and I'm not looks like that, though. Who are you and who asked you to interject with stupid bull? No, really. Who asked? Oh, that's right, no one. All of the C++ in 2 weeks at age 14, guys. Why did I say all of the? Doesn't matter. OnlyFans girl who loses 95% of her subscribers in the 2023 AI crash, so she learns to code and gets hired and then laid off in the 2024 AI engineering crash. She ends up working a customer service job, and then GPT-5 obliterates her for a final time in 2025. She learns to code and gets hired in a year. I want to meet this genius. I learned all of C++ in 2 weeks at age 14. I don't know why people make up... Well, okay, I know why people make stuff up. But what I've never quite understood is why you make up something that is so obviously bullshit that everyone on Earth, regardless of how smart they are, is able to call you out and make fun of you for it. Also, yeah, this whole stretch of bullcrap that I'm reading through here, are you kidding me? So basically, this Twitter thread is saying that by 2025, the world will end. Essentially, because of AI. The world is going to completely collapse in the next 2 years. Twitter mathematicians. Oh dear. This is going to be a fun one to end us off. If y'all get this wrong, you failed school for real. You should ask something like this, which is, well, that fraction, but it just looks like a lot more intimidating. Well, you're wrong, buddy. Nice try, anime profile pic. Wait a minute, is that Chunibyo? Dude, that is. Nice try. No, you're not. Get out of here with that Chunibyo bullcrap. I'm out. I'm going home.